Oh, righty. How is everybody? How is everyone? Oh, righty. How is everybody? How is it? Audio sounds okay. Sounds okay to me. Today we do have one of Cuden's famous tournaments. He's back in action with the 2v2 experience. He'll have some domination, some land battles coming up, usually about once a week. We're here to cast those. Everything is a best of one until the very end, and then you have a best of three. Up until then, you have had your factions picked. So everybody starts out with the same two factions, and then it's blind going into each other. So if you get a bad matchup, it's just the way it is, but I think they try to avoid that. Yeah. Yeah, should be nice, quick, to the point, I think. 2v2 does add a lot of different dynamics to the game. So we should get off to the races in just a second here. I'm not actually the host, so any questions you have should be directed to Cuden, either in his Discord or if he's in the chat, or DM him or something. I don't know. I'm just the host, just a guy talking about games. Oh, Blood Penguin and Drac. These guys always do the 2v2s. They're fun. Void and Tank probably going to be the favorites to win today. Probably. Looking around. I don't know. Kiara and Raced, at least that's how I assume Bellacour is, are also pretty good at 2v2. Swarv and Rolha are both individually good players, and Swarv plays a lot of 2v2, but I haven't seen Rolha play anything like that, so we'll see. I think that is all of the contestants for favorites, so probably Void and Tank, and then I'd go with, oh god, let's go Kiara and Raced for a Dark Horse. Dark Horse to win the whole tournament. So if either of those two teams win this whole thing, you owe me $50, but it's fine. It's whatever. It's not a big deal. You can Venmo me at Skavenrat. No, it's cool. Okay. Let's check in on how this is doing. Okay, looks like we're waiting on some last minute factions from the old Qster. So I'll check in on chat. Hi. Been watching this while on the clock. What up, Chaz? Got stuck for the weekend shift. Me too, dude. I was editing videos before this, which isn't exactly the weekend shift, but after this I have to go into the lab. Hey, Rusty, how you doing? Our poll for who's the best 2v2 faction between Vampire Counts, Tomb Kings, Vampire Coast, and VC again. Strangely, Tomb Kings and Vampire Counts are tied if you count Vampire Counts again as the only Vampire Counts vote. So, yeah, weird. How strange. That is mostly a meme, though the undead factions are rather strong in 2v2. I think there's plenty of factions that are also strong besides just them. Besides just them. Well, they work on some stuff. You want to see something exciting? If you go into my recorded videos, I have 23 sitting here that I was working on editing before you all joined. So that's fun. So 23 here, and then video waiting room. These are ones that are edited but haven't been uploaded to YouTube and haven't gotten a thumbnail. So 22. So 22 videos there, 23 videos here. There's 45 videos recorded coming your way. And do we have a thing yet? We're live, go play? Nice, I can quit stalling. While I'm here, let's find a good one. There's a funny little plague bug that my friend pointed out to me. If you're playing the Nurgle campaign, by the way, you can give your enemy a plague that makes them take less damage from attrition while under siege. So my friend was trying to siege a goblin settlement near Carrick 8 Peaks. I forget which one it was. And he was sieging them, and like they were just taking no damage from attrition because he had this, and then the one beneath it, if I hover over that again, is
plus
another minus 35%. Yeah, so they were doing minus 70% damage. from his own attrition on the siege, and he was like, well, I just made my enemies invincible, so that's exciting. Anyway, factions are up for everybody we can see here. London Willow. Oh, okay. Sorry. I was just looking. High Elves, Lizardmen, Vampire Counts, Warriors of Chaos, Tomb Kings, Ogre Kingdoms, Dark Elves, Tzeentch, Skaven Nurgle, Skaven Dwarves, Grand Cathay Nurgle. Oh, wow. Kiara and Raced going for the Grand Cathay. Bold. Kislev and Brett, Dwarves and Nurgle, Tomb Kings Nurgle, Greenskins Vampire Coast, VC and Skaven, Empire High Elves, Nurgle and Blank. So Nurgle is, Nurgle's popular today. We'll see how he does. I mean, he does provide a lot of healing, but he also gets shot. And having two factions eager to shoot you is tricky. Let's go find ourselves a game. Let's go do it. Dwarves are very good due to their range in 2v2. Yeah. Yeah, dwarves are pretty strong. 2v2. Component. Okay, who am I looking for? Swarv, Rolha, Zepp, and Waldsterman. Swarv can lag there a fair amount, so we could avoid that. Tretch and Ruckfang. Diamond to Bronze and Zombie Quest. I'm trying to look for something that has the least lag. We could do Blood Penguin and Geese Howard. That seems fine. Zombie, Dom Test, Newbie Domination. Do we see Geese or Blood Penguin? Don't see it. I'll just message him. Can I spectate, please? So you were raised by Skaven? Of course I was. Looking forward to the Kislev plus Bretonnia. Who is that? Who did Kislev plus Bretonnia? Hold on. Give me a second. It was towards the bottom, wasn't it? Kislev and Brett is Coops and Guy Ledouche. Yeah, they're probably going to have to face Swarv and Tank. I mean, Tank and Void Lulls. That might be brutal, but we can try to catch that game for sure. Whoop, whoop. Damn it, Blood Penguin. The Vampire Counts Nehek Tomb Kings units. I mean, I think they can. Because the Vampire Counts Tomb Kings combo is really, really potent in Warhammer 2. So I'd imagine they hadn't changed that for Game 3. And besides, Tomb Kings used to have the trait Undead, which is all invocation of a heck needs to target a unit. They don't have a special Tomb Kings kind of Undead. What up, Daniel? How you doing? Kislev Zargard frontline with Brett Mass Peasants? Hell yeah, dude. Dude, Coops and his partner, Guy Ledouche, gonna need all the love they can get to beat Void Lulls and Tank. So I hope Kislev Bretonnia is OP. Hoping you're having a nice Sunday. I am. It's busy. It's a busy Sunday. I have to go into work after this. And I've been editing all morning. So, it's tricky. So where is... We just saw that game, but it didn't have a spectator slot. So where did you go, Penguin? Let me in! Let me in! Spam them. Why doesn't every lobby just have spec slots constantly? Why are you allowed to not have people spectate your games is the real question. I just assume you gotta spam expensive cavalry as Bretonnian, let Kislev be the front line. Hope you're having a nice Sunday. Adventure, any of the undeads are an insane combo. Yeah, probably. 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 Probably Probably. Actually, I'm surprised they don't have any Count's Coast. Thought that one would be a little more popular after the Cyrene buffs. I haven't been seeing a lot of those Cairn Wraiths. Are Cairn Wraiths trash, or what's going on with them? Because we see Cyrenes every game with Vampire Coast. But not the Cairn Wraiths. Let me in! Let me in! Best game, Ultra Scale. Okay. Sorry. The player, well, one of the players who's not the host responded to me and told me who the host is, and the host hasn't responded yet, so we don't have the spec slot. Also, I'm seeing a lot of Total Tavern things. Is there a tournament today? Oh, turn sights down. Yeah, Total Tavern's down. Well, whatever tournament they're having, hopefully it goes okay. Join us if you want. We have a spec slot too. Okay. Why wasn't I joining your thing? I think I might have worried about the lag, but we'll see. Boop. Oh no! God damn, dude, these lobbies are not cooperating. There we go. Okay. So we are in. We will see Raced and Bellicor, which is Kiara, on Grand Cathay and Nurgle, versus Flame of Udon and London Willow, but we don't know where London Willow is, and he was the person that was missing his faction. There he is. There he is. Has he updated his faction yet? Warriors of Chaos. Nurgle Warriors of Chaos versus Nurgle Cathay. Oh geez, oh gosh, oh boy. Get ready for boxes, ladies and gentlemen. Adventure, any of the undeads are in the same combo. Daniel, so for your context, in case someone's watching the VOD and doesn't understand who I'm responding to, I feel compelled to say that Terran Faction Wars was a bit boring. I felt most players were memeing or maybe experimenting. It didn't feel competitive somehow. Not to be a dick, just saying, there was a lot of domination-only players or players who haven't been playing a lot of Warhammer 3 at all that were big names that were invited. So not everybody was extremely top tier. That could have been part of it. There's also a good number of players in there that I know have stopped participating in my land battle tournaments and have DM'd me saying land battles are dead and land battles are trash. But then when the faction wars came around, all of a sudden they said yes. So I'm guessing that the big stage brought them back and they didn't actually know what the meta was. That could be some of what you were seeing. And then the drama around Mofet, it was interesting because it was an invite only, but then Mofet got invited, who is really good, and he's good at a lot of tournaments, but he does have a tendency to push the rules to the very edge of the breaking point. So then when Turin invited him, I was like, okay. But then when he invited him on Tzeentch, I was like, oh, God. Okay. I can already see how that's going to go, but hopefully he doesn't, be an asshole. And then it kind of looked like he was, so all right. So people might be like, you shouldn't flame a player on stream. Don't be an asshole. I won't flame you. I think the main thing costs for Cairn Wraiths, Sirens are cheaper. Yeah. Ghost units got buffs. I feel like the faction war mainly... You liked the faction war mainly because it was land battles. Yeah. What up, Cuden? They're the same cost, just compared to them. Sirens a bit tankier due to their charmed weapon effect and higher melee defense. Nice. Yeah, in melee, Sirens are pretty tanky. Spells-wise, they die instantaneously, which is good. I mean, they're a really good unit, so I'm not complaining that if they get hit by a spell, they pretty much disintegrate, because if you don't hit them with a spell, Sirens will destroy your entire army, so you need something to stop them, right? I think all the players were good land battle players, maybe like at one point, but if you haven't practiced for a while, man, you can fall out of it pretty quick. I don't know. I don't know, man. There were a lot of names, not a lot, but there were some good names on there that I haven't seen in any of the land battle tournaments we've been hosting for quite a while, so. First few matches were pretty one-sided. Middle pack was amazing. Alfred and the Van Geist Rush got what he deserved with Mofat. E. I think qualifiers are probably the best way to go with Faction War if you want the actual Faction War to be competitive. If you just want it to be a celebrity showcase, which is kind of what this one was just bringing... It was the first Faction War of Immortal Empires, so he wanted a lot of the big names to bring a lot of the big people back. Then that's fine if it's just like a show thing. But yeah, if you're looking for actual competitive matches, you probably need a qualifier of some kind. Because wasn't King of the Dead in there? Like, how far did King of the Dead get? Because I haven't seen that guy in 57 million years. I'm not trying to be like an asshole. I'm just saying I was literally asked why this didn't feel competitive, and I'm trying to answer that question. King of the Dead versus Loopy. And then how did that go? King of the Dead's winning. Nice. Yeah, so he had a good showing apparently, which is good. Oh god. I'm seeing this Kislev build versus Norska. It looks very silly to me. But, oh well. King of the Dead at least beat Slaanesh with Tomb Kings. He won against Slaanesh and lost against Dark Elves. He brought Shame to aim out. Oh, I thought he was winning against the Dark Elves in that game I was just watching, but maybe the nameplates were on the side. I like a combination of land battles versus domination for viewing. Land battles are really fun cinematic moments, and SCMs are doing cool things. The dom seems like a more tactical intensive thing. Yeah. Both are fine for different reasons. You closed after Wood Elves got eliminated because of Keeper of Secrets. I think Turin Messenger was the first come first serve, so people message him, got a slot. Alright. That wasn't my experience with it, but alright, maybe that was true for some factions. Because he messaged me trying to find a good Empire player, and I told him about Blood Penguin, so... I don't know. I think he was just gathering up a bunch of people in various fashion. Nurgle's Tzeentch Lords are all still unfun as fuck to watch, and they're pretty bad. Which top land battle players do you think missed out? Will Francesco is really good at Ogre Kingdoms. He's been spamming a bunch. Was Hanniden's in there? I didn't see the list, but Hanniden's a top tier player. So if he wasn't in there, then that's a shame. Hanniden's is really good. Loopy's been playing really good. Phoenix King's been playing really good. Mofat's honestly been playing really good. Voidlaw's an even star. Well, I haven't seen even star in a bit, but he was playing really good before he stopped participating in tournaments. Other than that, I'm trying to think. VM Berserk's been pretty good. The Gentle Rat has been strong. Raced. Golden Floof. Natre, who's also known as Hardrose Warrior, has been really good. I don't know. I have to go back through all the tournaments and look. Those are some of the names coming to mind. Some of the names in the faction war I haven't seen in a long time. All right. We're in. This tea is gross, but it is caffeinated, so I do need it in my body. We have double Kugath Plaguefather. Cool. And a little bit of lag that I was kind of worried about. We'll see. I was originally trying to get into the Blood Penguin lobby because I know the 4 of those players and I've connected with them before and I don't usually have lag. This bunch I wasn't so sure about. Alright, looks like things are stabilizing. Hens and Loopy were both in. Nice, good. Falcon can make it apparently. I'm surprised Void and Even weren't there or anyone from VM. Yo, how's it going? Good, Killer Lion, good. Good. Alright, well, Chase Rainbow is just a difference of opinion. I was just saying that, like, from a lot of the land battle tournaments I've hosted, I didn't see, or cast, I didn't see a ton of people there, and I saw some people that I haven't seen in any of my tournaments for the last, like, 3 months. That was all I was trying to say. But if you think the people that were there were fine, that's totally fine. Completely fine. Moving on. So for Nurgle and Warriors of Chaos, we have Triple Fury as a frontline, Nurglings mixed with Marauders is that, and then some Marauders of Nurgle, Chaos Warriors of Nurgle. We do have a Soul of Damnation Hell Cannon. We have 1 Soul Grinder. We have Kugath Plaguefather, Exalted Hero of Nurgle, some Marauder Horsemasters, and triple of them in the trees. Double Hellstriders of Slaanesh, 2 Chaos Chariots. Everything's still moving around. A Chaos Sorcerer Lord of Fire with actually a pretty cool little emblem. I like his new emblem. It's kind of spooky. It looks like the Black Knight from Dark Souls, actually, if you know that reference. We have Burning Head, Fireball, Tormentor's Sword, and of course a Breath Attack because he's up on his dragon. This looks like this force mostly wants to artillery bombard their enemy and skirmish a little bit, which is smart versus, you know, a box. For Nurgle Cathay, Grand Cannon, double Fire Rain Rockets. We have Jade Warrior Crossman, Jade Warrior Crossman, Jade Warrior Crossman, so 3 of them. A front line of Plague Bearers, a secondary line of Chaos Warriors of Nurgle with great weapons, and then regular Chaos Warriors of Nurgle. Back line of Nurglings plus Jade Warriors. We have Miao Ying, a Terracotta Sentinel, Kugath Plaguefather, double Fury plus the Righteous Lances of Wei Jin, Long Marauders, and then we have 2 Horsemen of Nurgle with throwing axes. Honestly, I don't blame MoFed for how he played, considering how strong BC are. Yeah. I still think it's pretty... It was pretty degenerate, and there were some rule break issues, and it was just really boring in a for-fun tournament, so I don't know. You're allowed to like it if you want to, but from Turin's casting, it was pretty clear that Turin didn't like it, and a lot of the audience didn't like it, and they were all like, well, land battles suck dick, because MoFed's being an asshole on stream. And it's like, no, MoFed's just being an asshole on stream. Alright. Will Zinj ever stop stealing Slaanesh's lube? The Keeper of Secrets really need to rein that bullshit in. What bullshit? Keeper of Secrets are one of the worst greater demons. I would only rather have an Exalted Keeper of Secrets over an Exalted Bloodthirster. And even then, I think if you put the Exalted Bloodthirster on the Slaanesh roster, I would prefer the Exalted Bloodthirster. But it's just, the Exalted Bloodthirster's Khorne roster sucks so bad that I would take the Exalted Keeper of Secrets, because then you also get Slaanesh's good units. But, yeah, that thing sucks. It's weak to shooting, it's weak to getting surrounded by Cavs, it's weak to getting surrounded by monstrous infantry. It's like, it's only good at cycle charging and single entity dueling. And even then, single entity dueling is okay because of all of its animation problems. I'm a Brit loyalist? For what? What did I do? Wait, what is the Zinj Burb Keeper? The Keeper of Secrets? It's a Lord of Change. Yeah, you're talking about a Lord of Change. A Keeper of Secrets is a Slaanesh one. Bloodthirster is Khorne. Great Unclean One is Nurgle. Keeper of Secrets is Slaanesh. And Exalted Lord of Change is Zinj. So you're talking about the birds. Yeah, the birds are full of some bullshit. definitely. But the Keeper of Secrets, Slaanesh? No. No, that unit's trash. I like both Dom and land battles, but for land battles, which multiplayer let us pick one or the other rather than making us queue for both. Or you could just play Vermin League. Love Vermin League. Ace Human Boy keeping the land battle spirit alive. I have to go play in tourney. Hope to watch later. Alright, dude. Which tourney is it? What's going on? Boojalicious. I was not informed of another event. If you read the chat on this one, though. I was reading the chat. I don't see anything. Hammond, what are you talking about? Oh, tea. Okay, I see. No, I just don't like coffee. I don't like how it tastes, personally. Grace loves coffee. Yeah. H-Toff saving me from myself. Since I've encountered forest camping VC on ladder, I know. Yeah. It's a bit of a shame they were pushing Dom by criticizing land battles. Yeah. See, that's the thing that I don't like. If you like Dom, that's totally fine. I just hate when it's like one or the other. Like, there's an entire community of people that like land battles, and yet the popular way of discussing it is not, I prefer Dom, but land battles are trash, and this is why Dom is the only game mode. And it's like, okay, dude, calm down, bro. So when Mofet and Alfredino are going back and forth, it was just chat constantly popping off about how much land battles suck. Like, this is thrilling conversation, ladies and gentlemen. Because I frequently compare them to, like, this isn't a perfect analogy, but it's like domination is chess and land battles is boxing. And it's like you can like one or the other. But when you use that example, it's so ridiculous what's happening with sometimes. If anybody see the boxing quote-unquote match that's kind of limp, or like one side's just getting trashed on, they're like, this is why everybody in the world should watch chess, because chess is so superior, and oh, this blah blah. It's like, dude, it's a fundamentally different experience. Like, they're not comparable. Calm down. Not gonna go watch fucking chess if I don't enjoy chess just because there's one limp dick boxing match, alright? There's plenty of good ones. We've been watching them forever, and we know what a good one and a bad one is. I don't know. I don't like that argument where it's just like, this is trash! Okay, cool. Interactive, bro. Really enjoying this thoughtful conversation we're having. I think you can have your reasons to prefer one or the other. I'm not saying you shouldn't, like, you can have preferences and then it's like, don't explain why you have preferences. But it's as soon as someone throws out, like, the trash thing, it's like, eh. You can be like, I prefer domination battles because they require more thought into your army composition and such and such. It's like, oh, okay, cool. But then you could use that exact same sentiment and be like, land battles are trash because you don't have to think about your army composition. And it's like, okay. I mean, you do have to think about your army composition, so fuck you, but whatever. Anyway, we've just been ranting about this for a while because we are a minute into this game that is lagging its ass off. I blame Blood Penguin for not letting me in. Blood Penguin, why would you not let me join your superior connection? Must be Cuden's fault? It is Cuden's fault, I agree. I agree. If I dip in the middle of the game, does it crash their game? I wonder. Laud your preferred game, don't trash others preferred. Yeah. Yeah, Tian, I agree. I had such fun with land battles the other day. Lizardman versus Hiles were silly with each other down to 2 units of troops. That just can't happen in Dom. Yeah. That is true. But there's also, like, I'm no Dom simp. I definitely prefer land battles, but, like, I do have exciting domination games where, like, there's this one where the points are, like, 1,000... Okay, wait, they changed the scale on me, but back when it was 5,000, I have games where it's 1,000 to 4,920. And there's 1 point left for the team that has 4,920. And, like, ogres are rushing in from everywhere to collapse in this 1 point. And if they can win this 1 point, they win the entire game because, like, Kislev is entirely out of funds. Like, they just have nothing left. But the haggard and beleaguered men of Kislev, these Kossars, are holding the point. Some of them still have their unbreakable passive. They're popping it as more and more ogres pile on, and the thing ticks up. But the ticker is getting down to, like, 4,925, 4,930, 4,935. And you're just like, oh, shit, could they capture it? And then when they do, and it's like 4,995, they capture it, and the ogres still have like 5 to 10 minutes of gameplay left to just watch their ticker go up, but the enemy concedes because they know it's over, and the game ends, and you don't have to wait there the whole time. Like, that shit's epic. I love that. You know? That doesn't happen every game, but it's different. Like in land battles, you never have like a timer for things to occur. So, there's definitely like nice things about it, just... There's nice things about both game modes, it's just what you prefer. I don't know. We are a minute 30 into this game. It's going well. Grumpy card, shut up, Grumpy. Got him. As for what has happened in the first minute and a half of this game that has lasted 35 years, both Fire and Rockets for Cathay are taking a lot of damage from their Nurgle counterparts, and the Soul of Damnation is taking a ton of damage from the one Grand Cannon of Cathay. Grand Cannon of Cathay is currently sitting in some Plague Bears of Nurgle, so it can have some issues shooting, and this far right one keeps shooting a tree and bouncing a cannonball back at itself. But I'm just waiting for actually to hit a cannon model and destroy it, which would be pretty funny. So far hasn't happened. They both have really cinematic endings sometimes. Yeah. That shit's nuts. I wonder, actually, like, real talk for a second, would this be a good or a bad idea? I have no idea, but I'm just spitballing. What if there was, like, a thing where if you triple cap, there was, like, a minute left in the game to capture a point, you know? So if someone ever triple caps, a 60-second timer would start counting down until, like, you just get destroyed. That would do two things. One, it would stop purely, like, defensive play, where your strategy... I don't know if this is a good thing to stop this strategy, but your strategy is just to spawn ranged units, and then the enemy takes the points, you just shoot them. You let them get to about 66% of the way done with the game, and then you start spawning melee units and just take the points from their battered bodies. So if you triple cap, your opponent has to get aggressive at least somewhere in 60 seconds, or they'll just lose. And it would also prevent salty losers in quick battles from when that epic scenario I just said happens, where the ogres take triple cap, they have way more units, and they just need to tick up, like, 75% of the points, but they have a triple cap and it's completely uncontested, and Kislev has like no money, but then the player just doesn't quit, so you have to sit there and watch the ticker go up. It sucks. Rarely happens, but when it does, you're like, dude, just surrender. Like, you're not getting anywhere. You're not getting any of these points. Come on, man. So it would prevent that. I wonder if that would be a good idea or not. Because I could also see that, like, oh, I didn't think of this one scenario, and then that scenario just becomes the meta, and it sucks, and then everyone's like, nice job, human boy, you ruined Dom. You fucking asshole. Yeah. Cuban just asked me to check a thing, but oh god, Nurgle on both sides was going to be slow enough as it is, but with the lag as it is progressing, I think if I'm just going to do this for everybody's safety. Should I? I feel like I should dip. Is this a live game and not a slideshow? It is. It is. All right, boop. I'm leaving. Maybe without me, the players will also do better, so I think that was just for everybody's sanity. We could stop the stream for 3 minutes, then play it on 2x speed. True, though. True. Alright. Sorry about that, everybody. It happens. I lost a triple cap game yesterday for that exact reason. Yeah. It's brutal, but that is what makes the game mode fun. You know what I mean? Or if the person who was ahead on points at one point always won the game and there was no way to come back at all, that fucking sucks. Now, I'm not saying use the comeback mechanic. It's very different. I just meant that, like, there is a legitimate function that if you sacrifice too much of your army to taking damage to get early capture points, that is a risk that you take too much damage, not enough points, and then you get rolled over for the rest of the game. And I think that's a good risk to take, because I think the more viable strategies there are in a game mode, the healthier that game mode is. Just like, I think I'm not thinking of a single scenario where that's wrong. So I think carte blanche, any game mode in any game, if there's multiple ways to play the game, that makes the game more interesting, in my opinion. We need the Dwarf Thunder Bodge. Imagine the Dwarf Air Kite builds. True. I wasn't even playing and I wanted to kill myself. Jesus Christ, Kylo douche. I came for war, not the slideshow. Well, Guy Ladouche, you might be up soon. Yeah, you are. All right, Coops and Guy Ladouche, who are both in the chat. Let's see it. Let's see the Kislev Bretonnia combo. Can Coops and Guy Ladouche take down Voidlaws and Tank? It's going to be really hard. It's going to be really hard. But they'll try. I'd say that partly on dwarves still having value without ammo, so the peasants are entirely worthless without ammo. True. Still adapting the changes from the update, Izzy. I used to rush triple cap and use Grail Knights before the update, and that's not working anymore. I feel like Brett... Isn't Brett still really bad in domination mode, or is that outdated information? The desk is transforming to its seated position, so I don't have to stand anymore. Whoop! It's guaranteed win, you got the lady's favor. You know what? No argument there. No argument there, you're doing it. Okay. So Cooperton is hosting a lobby. That other game we abandoned is 2.5 minutes in, and also we have finished 4 rounds. Oh boy. We'll see how that goes. Good luck, Swarv and Rolha. Swarv and Rolha have advanced over Zep and Waldsterben. Blood Penguin and Drac have advanced over Goose Drive. And Diamond of Bronze plus Lebaked has lost to Zombie Quest and Ragna. Cool, cool. Do think we will be watching the Kislev Bretonnia thing, because that was requested for earlier. So what do we have? VC and Skaven versus Kislev and Brett. On the other side, we have Vampire Coast and Greenskins versus who won? I forgot. Empire and High Elves. Okay. Don't ever move your cam like this. Why? What happened? Oh. Was it? Honestly, joined the first lobby, I can see. I have a ping. I added a spec slot, but we are fucked. Alright. I don't see it, good Sir Coops. Coops. Okay, I messaged Coops asking for the lobby. Nothing, I just hate change. Oh, I see. I think I'm missing a DLC because when I play Brett, I don't have any ROR when you play multiplayer. You need the Rapunzel to Leon S DLC, I think. I think Rapunzel came with all of them. Okay, Coop sent me a code. We're gonna find a lobby. Very sorry we have not been able to see a game today. Kind of a rough start, but we'll get it, I guess. Lag be lag. That's why Undead is broken as shit and dumb. Okay. Okay. Me and Coops have reached a consensus. What's the consensus? Is that you're gonna win? That's the consensus. Rapunzel was a free DLC? I actually don't remember after all this time. Let's see. Oh, look. Knights of Bretonia DLC. Well. I know Bretonia was one of those like kind of fucked up factions that didn't make it easy to get all their stuff. Regiments renown became available to the player's faction when a lord reaches a certain character level. Okay. One sec. Beastmen, Wood Elves. Regiments are now rented in the free Foundation update. Beast Players of Bestone, Holy Wardens. So it looks like they were added for free in an update a long time ago. A patch released on August 10th, 2017. Yeah, so it doesn't look like you need anything. You just need to have the Bretonia DLC downloaded, like the Knights of Bretonia free DLC. And then you should be fine, it looks like. Not to say that Dom is a bad game mode, is that there are clear balance issues oversights due to being new. Yeah. Yar. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, of the tournament favorites playing Skaven and Vampire counts, going to overcome the tournament Giga Chads, the crowd favorite, the fan finagles, the peasant patriarchs, the Solidibinius saints in Coops and Turbo Fisto, also known as Guy Ladouche, Kislev and Bretonia. Voidlaws is playing Skaven, Tank's playing Vampire Counts. While he's famous for Vampire Counts, Voidlaws is probably the best Vampire Counts player on the planet, so maybe they have a shot. Don't you need first anniversary RORs from Total War Access? Oh god, I don't know, man. It's been like 4 years since I had to deal with any of that. I know that the DLC for the Total Warhammer games are usually pretty good, but I also know that some of the DLCs are really annoying to access. Like, some of them are free LCs, some of them are free LCs, but then you have to do a certain thing in campaign they don't tell you you need to do. I don't know, man. It's really tricky. You're just gonna have to Google it. Delicious. Coops has readied up and unreadied a couple times. He has been switching his build each time, so I think they're double thinking, triple thinking, unthinking. Just sipping some tea, having a good time. We have been streaming for 40 minutes. We have almost seen a game. Don't worry, we will see a game sometime. Torlox the Brass Bull, it has been a while since we've seen you on this chat, my friend. How are you? Get out. Get the fuck out of here. Somebody kick him out. Somebody get rid of him. Ban him. No, I'm kidding. Don't do that. He's a nice guy. VC needed plus 10 leadership across the board. Yeah, that was dumb. Yes, the much loved VM clan Conga Line VC Magic Skirmish build, a classic. Yeah. Alright, Tank unreadied. He has 5 gold left. He's just sitting there. He's vibing, surviving. Tank, ready back up. Tank! Tank! There we go. We're getting in the game. Let's see if this is not laggy. Brett, High Elves, Ogres, and Demons need some kind of love. I'm not so sure about High Elves. I think people are overly critical about High Elves. I don't think High Elves are top tier, but I honestly think High Elves are mid tier, and people are overrating how bad they are. But it depends if you're talking about Domination Mode. Domination Mode, I have literally no idea on the meta, so not about that. Land battles, High Elves are fine. Like, if they got some buffs, I wouldn't be upset. I think if they got some nerfs, I would be upset, because they don't need to go down. But, like, I think they could stay where they are in the meta, or go up, and both would be fine. But yeah, I think they're on the lower end of the middle, but fine. if I had to give some love to some factions before the High Elves, it would be Demons of Chaos, Dwarves. And Dwarves, I hope they don't just do straight buffs. I hope they do targeted buffs that make them more interesting. Because the problem with Dwarves is you could make them strong like you made Cathay strong in land battles, just make them annoyingly tanky and toxic. But there's ways to make them more interactive and fun to play against, while also making them stronger. So Dwarves need some love, Demons of Chaos definitely need some love, Khorne needs some loves, all before High Elves, and then I think it gets debatable who needs love more than High Elves, but those three, for sure, need help more than High Elves do. They've always been limited and kind of bad. Yeah, with the Warhammer 3 buffs specifically, Warhammer 2, yeah, I agree with you 100%. But with the Warhammer 3 buffs specifically, their infantry have been actually trading pretty well in a lot of matchups, and the Dragon buffs have been really good, and the Phoenix Bug / buff has also been really good. So I don't know, man. High Elves and land battles right now are doing all right. They're doing all right. I would definitely not nerf them, and I would welcome a buff, but like I was just saying, I think there's other factions that need buffs more. Bretonnia is great in land battles. Yeah, they're crushing it recently. They're not like S tier, but they're fine. As a player with a 50% win rate, 6 battle thoughts, my expert opinion that High Elves need to be buffed because I like them. Yeah, I think a lot of people like High Elves. There's a small amount of people that don't like playing against High Elves because some of their best builds are pretty gross and cheesy, like double Star Dragon with a fuck ton of healing or something, but in general, the faction's interesting and fun to play. I think more people like High Elves than dislike them. So High Elf supremacists find disgusting human factions do better than elves. Yeah. Like I was saying, I think they could use some buffs, but I don't think they're bad. I just listed 3 or 4 factions that I think are definitively worse than High Elves in land battles. I mean, land battles are just going to die once Dom gets better. I mean, I don't believe that, but okay. Yeah, I don't know. We talked about this pretty extensively during the laggy game, but I think High Elves and... not High Elves. Land battles and Dom fill very different niches, so I don't really think the goal or the... I don't think they ever will, both. I don't think one of them will ever completely die, and I also don't think one of them should die. Like, they fill different niches. Why can't they just both focus on what people like about them and both be fun? You know what I mean? I don't know. Yeah. Alright. Armies are set up so I can start talking about them without them moving everything 4 seconds. For Void and Tank, we do have triple Jezzail frontline, one of which is the Natty Boobo Sharpshooters to be a little sneaky. Gracier of Plague with Vermintide and Dreaded 13th, the Storm Vermin summon and the regular summon. We have 2 Plague Claw Catapults and a bunch of Poison Wind Globadiers. It looks like 3 of them. Skaven Slaves mixed throughout, though it's hard to tell with red and red what's Skaven Slaves and what's zombies. But there are some Skaven Slaves. We also have 4 Rat Ogres. Crypt Horrors have the exact same thing, so it's hard to tell, but it looks like 4 Rat Ogres. And that is it for the Skaven army. For the backup of VC, we have Skeleton Warriors, Skeleton Warriors, Skeleton Warriors. Oops, Clan Rats that we missed earlier. We do have Zombies mixed throughout, Crypt Horrors mixed throughout, Double Vargulf, Isabella von Karstein, and 2 Vargeist, or just 1? 1 Vargeist being the Arwar overhead, and 1 unit of Blood Knights. Try and control the mobile game. Necromancer 2 for a little bit of mana battery shenanigans. Yeah. On the other side, for Bretonnia and Kislev, Knights of the Realm, Knights Errant, ROR, Winged Lancers, Questing Knights, Knights of Lionhearted, Griffin Legion. We have Castalton for some AoE healing and magic and fire damage and stuff. Frostmane of Ice with Heart of Winter to punish blobs. Fey Double Paladin, one of which is Henri Le Massif. The Fey Enchantress as dwells below, and a lot of healing. A little Grom, and then a front line of Peasants mixed with Battle Pilgrims, mixed with Men-at-Arms at Spears, Armored Kossars, Streltsy, and we do have some Light War Sleds in the back. So it's mostly a Cav Rush. Mostly. 95, 22, 65%. Support. War Dancers are on the level of Rangers, pretty much. Isabella von Karstein without Blad. He must be very busy right now. That, or the fact that they have 0 synergy together might be the reason he's not here. Who knows? Who knows? It could be that. It could be that he's busy, or it could be that they literally do the exact same thing, except Vlad does it slightly better, and Isabella does it while flying, so maybe they aren't the best to pair together. Or he's busy! or the fact that they don't work together in any capacity outside of campaign is a little bit of an oversight on CA's part, and they should fix that. Or he's busy. Excuse me, it's pronounced Big Hank. True. Yeah, word answers are pretty bad. They're pretty trash. Alright, we have less flag than the other game, but still a pretty good amount. Physical resist is just like bad armor. Yep. Well, isn't it better than armor? Isn't physical resist better than armor? Because armor piercing doesn't get past it. I mean, magic damage gets past it, but magic damage doesn't get past armor. Yeah, I was thinking of traditional RPGs where magic damage goes through armor. You have a different thing called magic resist. Yeah, never mind. Yeah, physical resist and armor have different applications. I still think overall I prefer physical resist, but it's equivalent, right? If you're offering me 10 physical resist or 100 armor, I'm going to take the 100 armor. So I think it largely depends on the numbers you're talking about. But like 10 armor versus 10 physical resist, 10 physical resist all the way. They're canonically more fun together? True. I just get really salty that they have literally no synergy, even though they're supposed to be a couple. Like, they both are going to heal cap, but all they provide is healing. And Vlad's like a duelist, but he doesn't need more healing from Isabella. He's going to heal cap on his own. It's just silly. If you give elves a bit more HP, all his units become decent, honestly. True. Resist is way better than armor. Again, I gave a specific example, but I feel like it depends on the amounts you're talking about. But yeah, if you gave 10 of either thing, definitely the resist is better. Yay! CA, no. Yeah, it's a little laggy, but it's what it is. They should have a nice synergy buff. Like something that if they're within, like, you know, the whole Guardian thing, if you're within 20 meters or whatever of a Lord, you provide a physical resist buff with Guardian. Like Isabella and Vlad should have that if they're within a certain range of each other, that they get like a Winds of Magic buff or crazy melee attack and melee defense buff or like damage buffs. Because they don't need healing. I think the lazy thing would be like, if they're next to each other, they get this kind of regen. It's like, they both already heal cap, for the love of God. They don't need more healing. It's literally worthless. Anyway. It looks like the dreaded 13th summon is getting cast on some armored Kossars. We'll see if they can try to dodge it, and they do, but we will have Storm from the Halberds coming up soon. Void Lulls and Tank are dropping a bunch of summons to just stop this advance and break it up. They're not really looking to do damage that much. They're just buying themselves more time to shoot them with the Giselles and with the Plague Claw catapults. It's all pretty good stuff. We can see they're off to a pretty decent damage lead, almost 2-1. But the Cav flank is coming in slowly, one step at a time. And it's leaving, slowly, one step at a time. Enemy won't be bringing AP to begin with. The higher damage of non-AP units basically negates the 20% physical resist on board answers. Alright, these light war sleds have been gunned down. Looks like all 3 Giselles were targeting them, and they felt it, so that is a 1,100 gold piece entirely gone. I don't usually love light war sleds. I think you should either just go big or go home on the heavy war sleds, or just ditch it. Light war sleds feel just really expensive for what they do. Something happened to this Vargulf while I wasn't looking. I wonder if Little Grom's been shooting him, because I think Little Grom was mostly looking at the Grace here, but something happened to this big boy and he did not enjoy it whatsoever. Cav flank is almost here. The crawl of the Kislev boys are coming soon. And they are shooting some more Black Giselles who are running away. Their shields are facing the wrong direction because, of course, they're getting shot in the butt. And we do have a Griffin Legion charge. They will go unbreakable, so this is actually pretty fine. And they should be able to honestly take out 2 different Giselle teams here. I would not be shocked if they took out 2 different ones, because that's the really nice part about rushing with Kislev against shooting factions, is the unbreakable. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how much damage you take. You just keep running. And they are stomping over these Warlock Giselles. I really hope that Koops has his micro down pat on these guys. I know there's lags, there's tons of time to do it, but there's also a million other things going on. But this Griffin Legion is by far the most important thing in this game right now. They are free and clear in the middle of this Skaven formation, and they should, if microed properly, be able to take out 2 Giselle units, which would be pretty huge. On the other side, more Winged Lancers are piling into the Poison Wing Globes, and this is really nice play from Koops and Gailadou, shutting down a lot of the Skaven carry potential, because there's not as much infantry as you would honestly suspect. from vampire counts and Skaven together, there's not a ton. They're mostly relying on monstrous infantry, which you do have plenty of spear infantry, and you have a lot of anti-large cav in the Knights of the Realm that are somewhere. Some of the Wing Lancers don't have anti-large because I guess they're poop, but still. Rat Ogres need infantry support to really bump and grind, so if they're left without it, they could be in real trouble. This Jezzail's not having a good day. Other Jezzail's also not having a good day. Streltsy are trying to shoot something, somewhere, somehow. And Bretonnia is busting through the Skaven Slave front line for the moment. Do have a massive flank over here. Do have a massive flank over there. How piled up are these cav units? That's actually pretty good. It's a bunch of heroes, but it's only 2 cav units on top of each other. So it's not the worst thing. If all your cav ends up blobbed in the same spot, then yeah, you did a big fuck up. But it doesn't look like that's what's happening here. As it's a big flank overload, but you do have a couple heavy cav pieces on the other side, so your opponent can't just entirely turn towards you. But people tend to ignore HP, and it's by far the best stat in the game. Yeah, Kugat's mostly tanky because of his gigantic health pool. His armor isn't anything to, anything to write home about. It's just that he has 14,000 HP, and he heals by percentage, not by a flat amount. Unbreakable passive has been popped for the Griffin Legion. Curious how much they've been able to do. It looks like they mucked up some Jezzails, but didn't quite finish them off. Still stopping them from shooting is fine, however. Rat Ogres eating a charge from the defenders of Fleur-de-Lis. They'll probably win that in the long run, unless they get some fire support, which they might. And we can see a lot of the firing units are falling back, and most of their defenses are up here. So in green, the only defenses you have for all these ranged units is these 2 infantry right now. So if something can get back here, it can do a lot of work. Big blob fight should be favoring the Fey Enchantress and her healing squad, plus Gestalten and his healing squad. So actually the Vampire Counts might get out-blobbed here. And ooh, a nice rear charge from Questing Knights onto the Devils of Schwarzhofen. They only have 10 armor, so the Questing Knights, like, armor piercing isn't necessary, but they are still a really good elite unit, and they'll do plenty there. And is that a Heart of Winter going off, or what the fuck is that? Where is a Heart of Winter? That better not be an ice sheet or whatever. I'll be pissed off if whatever that animation is an ice sheet and not Heart of Winter. They gotta punish the blob real bad, so they don't need to slow things down. They need to do damage. Balance of power is pretty heavily in the favor of Skaven and the Vampire Counts right now, but it is creeping back, and the damage values are creeping up as Bretonnia has finally got into the fray. Rat Ogres are routing. We have some zombies and skeleton warriors thinking about crumbling. Meanwhile, Enri and the Paladin are trying to fight some Vargulfs. It would appear. The center is kind of falling apart for the red team. We do have some routing globes. We have routing Jezzails in the back line. We have some Knights of the Realm taking a bit of poison windfire. So Coops and Gyladouche might have a shot in this. I wonder what Little Grom's been shooting at this whole time. Because if he's still shooting at the Grace here, that could be good. But I guess, ooh, yeah, Isabella can heal him up. She's not used to. Minotaur Achilles best. No Torok's cooler than Moonclaw. Maybe? Maybe. The ice has faded away from over here, so whatever that spell is, it's over. But when I was hovering over these units, I didn't see Heart of Winter. But man, imagine a Heart of Winter just like right there. Just like, oh, Heart of Winter. Ooh, Winged Lancers might be coming in for a rear charge. I don't know if I like that. Traditionally, it's good, but I feel like they should be doing more work in this whole area rather than committing more to that blob fight. They're already doing okay in the blob fight, but that is where the Vampire Counts put most of their strength. They'll just shut down all the ranged assets of the Skaven while you have the time. Like Minos for Khorne, but I heard they're bad for Beastmen. Really? I heard the exact opposite. I mean, like, I've heard some people say they're bad for Beastmen, some people say they're good. But I've heard literally nobody say the Minotaurs of Khorne are any good. What is this? Zombies? Ew, that's a lot of units getting stuck on these zombies. That is a little unfortunate. We also have the Bretonnian blob is falling apart a little bit. The healing isn't quite coming through for them. The Mortis engine sure is. Look at how wounded all these units are. Ouch. Ooh, Yowie. Should have picked Dowie. And we do have the Questing Knights. Oh, these are Winged Lancers. Winged Lancers are sweeping in on the back line, so they prioritize taking out the Skaven stuff over joining the blob, which I would agree is a smart move. I thought we had another cav piece back here somewhere, but it is missing in action, so either it routed off the map and died, or if it got involved somewhere and I just missed it. Tank and Void might be in trouble. Might be. Because we've seen in a lot of 1v1 games, when the Skaven ranged assets get truly shut down, the balance of power does take a massive swing, and so does the damage value. And the damage value right now, it's about 8,000 on one side and 8,500 on the other. And that was with the extremely good start that the Skaven had. So I don't know. We might be in trouble. And also you're getting to the sticky part of Skaven where, yeah, they're Poison Wind Globing a bunch of good units from Kislev. They're also hitting all of their own units, which is still a good trade for you, but it's not, like, free. Whereas when the front line is more established, like this is the front line, this is the back line, all of your globes are going to hit enemy units. Now it's like, everything's kind of a little bit of friendly fire. Maybe with Blood Creep being nerfed in Warhammer 2. Hanon's using both times in the faction war as Khorne. Nice. I hope they're good. I just hadn't heard that. But I didn't watch a crazy amount of the faction war. I was in and out. I was at a wedding that day. For my cousin. Which, by the way, I have a kind of funny story about when we were next in an army building phase. Somebody remind me to tell the wedding story. I'll know what it is. We still have a Paladin. We still have Henry. They're doing pretty good in here. They're actually trashing a Necromancer at the second. Do have a Frostbane of Ice, and I still haven't seen a goddamn Heart of Winter, so that's somewhere in the back pocket. In fact, I haven't seen much magic from Kislev at all. I do wonder what they have left in the tank. Meanwhile, Natty Boobo sharpshooters have somehow squeaked their way. Skaven squeak. Squeaked their way through this entire fight. They're not just sitting here amidst the battle shooting at Little Grob. Very funny, in my opinion. Here we have the Defenders of Fleur-de-Lis trying to get a charge leadership bonus to get onto the Poison Wind Globes. That'll be a great charge if they can just hang on. It looks like they will. They can maybe shut down that globe and a catapult there with no support from the Vampire Counts or Skaven nearby. On the far side, Knights of Lionhearted, Knights of the Realm are fighting Rat Ogres. They do have anti-large. They should win that fight in a vacuum, but both are extremely low in leadership, and it looks like the Rat Ogres got the charge on them, so they're probably going to die. Big Hero 6 fight. It's kind of going to Bretonnia. The Fae and her goon squad aren't taking a ton of damage, and they are just Mortis engineering this entire blob, so that's not the worst for them. Knights of the Realm might hang on. They might take out those Rat Ogres. And this big charge is having an effect. Poison Wind Globes are hanging on for now, but as the Knights swing more, they might get more done. And what are these joining the fight? Skeleton Warriors? They're fine. That's fine. It seems okay. Some Knights, the Griffin Legion, tried to fight the Natty Boobo sharpshooters, but they were routed off. I wonder if this peasant mob could rear charge them and make it worth their time. A Rat Ogre rear charge on the Knights of Fleur-de-Lis will end their brief reign of terror, but maybe it was enough time bought. And really, is there a Heart of Winter? Do Heart of Winters exist, or did I have a stroke? Her only spell is Heart of Winter, so that ice effect earlier must have been a Heart of Winter. Weird. More healing for the heal gods. Who said Nurgle is the heal blob faction? It's actually Kislev and Bretonnia. Easy clap. Torox is pretty sure has ITP. You quiet, Izzy. Torox is scary. Or Torox is scary. He's a scary boy. I don't actually know if he has ITP though. Real talk, I don't know if he does. Jezzail's still shooting at this thing. This thing's still shooting at the Grayseer, just trying to whittle him down. And the blob fight continues. We are 4 minutes into this game, so it feels like it's taking a long time due to the lag, but this has actually been pretty fast. 4 minutes, and we have that much damage value. And as you can see, Koops and Gailadouche have evened up the damage value, actually, significantly. So we are at about even there. Quick Storm Vermin Summon will delete down the Holy Wardens of Le Massatil, but it's a big Winds of Magic cost, and they will probably kill off some peasants, but it is what it is. Little Grom still firing. And really, this blob has to resolve at some point if Bretonnia has a chance in this game, because they do need to also be elsewhere. Unfortunately for them. What is getting cast? Oh, is that the crazy Chalice of Potions? If that doesn't veer off wildly and hit all those cavalry like it tends to, that could actually be a really solid cast. Looks like it got canceled for something. Don't know for what. Skaven and Vampire Counts have re-secured their backline somewhat. A lot of things routed entirely off the map back here, but we do have a couple globes still alive. Somehow there's a full health catapult still firing, and another globe is still up there. Armored Kossars have gotten into melee with Natty Boobos, which means Natty Boobos isn't long for this world, and Little Grom's still shooting at Grayseer. I want to see a giant comet hit the blob. That would be very funny for me. Paladin terror routing with full HP, because that's what Paladins do. I don't know if you've ever played Dungeons & Dragons, but it's famous that Paladins are low leadership against things. Comet blows away both Vargulfs off the Paladin and hits some infantry and monstrous infantry, doing a little bit of good damage there. It looks like these Zombos and Skeleton Warriors might start crumbling soon, leaving these Cryptors on their own. Questing Knights, heal cap in sight, are going to do something, somewhere, for some reason, somehow. I'm binging through Rat Slayer. It's so funny to see rats fleshed out, and I'm sure Thankful is coming. Yeah, the Skaven and the Gotrek and Felix books are really funny. Their lore is great. Okay. Bounce power shifting quite against the blue side. I think it's because of the red team's prolific healing. There is a lot of red left on the map outside of the blob. And the Paladin gets a little isolated. That is going to be a problem for him as these Questing Knights are fighting Blood Knights and the Devils of Schwarzhof and Vargeists. I do think blue is running out of opportunities in this game. It was a shame that some of their cavalry charges didn't finish off the Poisonwind Globes. They tried, but some of those knights, like the Winged Lancers and the Griffin Legion, don't have armor piercing, which fucking blows when you're trying to take out Skaven weapons teams, because these guys do have 100 armor. I think the Cav rush was actually a good idea. I think it was well executed, but Kislev heavy Cav is just in such a shit place right now. Winged Lancers and the Griffin Legion are trash units, in my opinion. Just my opinion. If you disagree, that's fine. So it was mostly Bretonnia carrying the weight. Now, maybe if we had some Kosovo Dervishes, you could just overload with how many Cav you had. Because Coops had some good charges. It's just they don't do very much damage, which sucks. Stairs and Paladin, it's a shameful display. Yeah, he's a shameful little guy. We have another summon of the lag fight. And these Crypt Horrors are tanking out the Fey Enchantress's Mortis engine pretty nicely for them. Which is, I mean, good for the health of the game, bad for Coops and Turbo Fisto in this game. Little Grom's just out there chilling, but now some Rat Ogres are running over to ruin his day. Natty Boo Sharpshooters are still online as more peasants are routing off. And yeah. That is going to be it. The Hero Core for Bretonnia and Kislev did pretty great. They did good work. Curious what the phase value even is. 2,800, that's alright. It's pretty alright. Don't know how much there is to say. I think this is over. We have two Vargulfs with a ton of health. Isabella, slightly wounded but can heal herself. We have some Blood Knights who have plenty of healing left that they can get. And then the Skaven are quickly rallying a lot of their ranged assets. I think it is doomed for the old Coopsinator. We love Coops. Agree with you there. I don't find the Kislev Cav push outside of bears and dervishes. Most send out to die with no armor and by our blood. It's overpriced for what they do. Kislev Cav is actually pretty decent. Bears would have been clutch here. Bears could have been clutch, but they are very expensive and they get shot. They get shibbity shot. I don't know, man. HGM, if you like the Kislev Cav, that's fine. I'm just saying I haven't seen them succeed in a lot of games outside of the Kosovo Dervishes and the Bear Cav, but the two mid-tier Cavs and the Griffin Legion and the Winged Lancers have really disappointed me several times, and it's largely due to they don't have anything going for them. They don't have armor piercing, they don't have anti-infantry, they don't have anti-large. So it's like, okay, they're fine at killing low tier, low armor, low melee defense things. Okay, that's alright. But the dervishes do that for half the cost, and then if you need any armor piercing or anti-large, you have to go all the way up to us. Like, what are bear riders? Are they 1600 or is that the Oath Brothers? I don't remember. But you have to get real expensive and low model counts, so basic archers will shoot them a lot. I don't know. Kislev would be a lot scarier of a faction if Griffin Legion had armor piercing. That'd be it. Because then your Winged Lancer still wouldn't be great, but they're a mid-tier Cav, which is fine. But the fact that they're both their mid-tier Cav options are just the same unit with slightly different stats, but like not worth the cost is just rough. Because like there's a difference between Knights of the Realm and Questing Knights. Knights of the Realm have anti-large, no armor piercing. Questing Knights have armor piercing, no anti-large. But there's a reason to take each. Griffin Legion and the Winged Lancer are literally just the same unit, but the Griffin Legion has slightly higher stats. But they don't serve a different function. You know what I mean? So then your opponent doesn't have to prepare for a different thing. You just have to prepare for non-armor piercing Cav in the Dervishes, the Winged Lancers, and the Griffin Legion. They're far superior to Silverhelms. I don't know if that's a great example because Silverhelms are also kind of trash. Like, I don't know if the Silver Helms are really a shining example on the hill. Apart from the RR Vanguard sometimes. Bears are 1600, Oath Brothers are for sure, of Torah are for 1800. Yeah, that's pretty expensive. And like, I'm not trying to say the Bears are bad. The Bears are just very niche. Like, they're really good at the one thing they do, but outside of that, they're pretty considering their price. Now, of course, if they were a 300 gold unit, yeah, they'd be great at everything they do. But once you consider that they're a 16 or 1800 gold unit, it's like, okay, they dumpster single entity monsters, they dumpster cab fights, but they don't grind through infantry particularly well, and they're extremely weak to archers and cannons. Mostly run them because you have no better options, yeah. Who dares ping me? Come talk to me again when you have Dragon Prince like Cav, yeah. Oh, you want to know something very silly? The first game we abandoned, Be'lakor and Raced versus Flame Willow, is still going on. It's still there. Oh my god. Oh, that's funny. All right. While we were gone, Heart of Winter and Dwellers Below was cast here, and they took out a bunch of zombies and crypt horrors. Didn't take out any of the single entities, and you can see that red team is just rallying a whole bunch of forces to come over here and fuck up their day. So I didn't, you know. You missed the Heart of Winter and the Dwellers Below, but it didn't really affect the outcome of the game too much. I do think there's just too much, especially with the Heart of Winter caster is gone, the Paladin's gone. It's just Enri, the Fae, and Castalton. Their healing caps are coming within sight. I don't think they can do it. It's one of the things that hold them back pretty hard. At least the first Heart of Winter must have been a blunder. Yeah, maybe. Bring back the Bother Human Boy channel. How would I even bother you now? You can bother me in general. I just know some newer players complained about the Discord having too many like random ass channels. And also, if you don't speak English, some of the ways I worded my Discord were like kind of confusing if you put it in a translator. Like general, I suppose. I did general, I suppose, and then people were like, you could translate general, and then it was I, the singular version of myself. And then suppose wasn't a real word, so the translator would get fucked up, and they're like, what even is this server? What's going on? So, yeah. I just made it a little more translator-friendly for people who don't speak English as a primary language. Okay. I am looking for another battle, but currently everybody is in-game, so we're not waiting on anything. If there was another game in a lobby ready for us, I would just quit this because it is a foregone conclusion. But it's this or the main menu, so we'll do this. My first Heart of Winter caster was on my caster, not the blob. Oof, Coops. Oof. That's brutal. That's brutal. You guys gave it a good show. You gave it a good run. Also, the fact that Sister of Avalorn barely performed better than Starfire Chef, Wood Elf, Glade Guard, almost twice the cost is pretty bad. It is pretty bad, but you are comparing them to some of the best archers in the game. Because, like, and I'm fine with that. Like, Wood Elves, as a faction, you think about and you're like, yeah, those are the good archer boys. Wing Lancers, one got close to paying for itself, one didn't. The Griffin Legion kind of got close to paying for itself, but didn't quite. Light Warsleds got fucked up. Little Grom did fine. Armored Kossars got destroyed. Castalton and his Ice Witch Lady also struggled to get their value back. For Turbo Fisto, Fey Enchantress slurped up 4,700 value. Paladin did not much. Enri also honestly didn't do too much. Questing Knights did okay. Knights of Rome did okay. Knights of Fleur did actually well. And then most of the front line didn't quite reach the enemy front lines. They also had struggled to get their value. For Voidlaus, the caster, 1,100. Gisele's mixed value, mostly got shut down, but Natty Bubo stayed alive and did good stuff. Plague Paw Catapults, one of them paid for himself, the other one didn't. Rat Ogres did fine. Poison Globes did okay overall. Escaped Slaves died for the Die Gods. Isabel von Karstein healed some things. That guy didn't do much. Vargulfs did fine. Zombos did Zombo things. Crypt Horrors bumped and grinded with the best, and Blood Knights did fine. Devils of Schwarzhofen actually did really well. And that is lap. Congratulations. It was a bug. Oh, I hate that. Yeah. Yeah. So, waiting for our next game. That's still happening. The world's longest game. Be'lakor and Race versus Flame of Udun and London Willow. That's brutal. Tretch and Axe Sotek have prevailed over Cuden. And Grumpy. And I suspect this one will be finishing up soon, and we'll watch Void and Tank versus whoever that is. Dragon-Blooded Sugar Mom. Yes. And then a door meme. Thank you, Hammond, for the door memes. Getting me through the trying times. Vegan vermin clan rats. Those are some vegans. Alright. We're waiting for our next game. It's time for the wedding story. It's time. Faye Best Waifu, rejoin the game. Rejoin what game? Anyway. Oh, rejoin the world's longest game. If only I could in progress, I would. I would. Alright. What is going on over here? Anyway. Hammond sending me a bunch of memes. While we wait, the wedding stories. Yesterday I went to my cousin's wedding, and the invite. Let me read it. The invite said, "Join us at 4 p.m. and the ceremony will begin, and then we will have a reception, dancing, and dinner afterwards." Okay. All right. 4 p.m. Cool. So I'm driving. I drive over there. I went to work yesterday morning, and then I got off at around noon and head on my way. Driving. I get there at 4:01. Okay, sorry, my dad just texted me. 4:01. So I'm 1 minute late. 1 minute late. And I walk in, and I don't see anybody around anywhere. And I'm like, oh, that's weird. And then I start to see... Tate, next game. All right. And then I start to hear music, and I hear Foreigner. You know, like, it feels like the first time. Ba-dum, ba-dum. It feels like the very first time. Over this hill on the property. And they are... And I'm like, okay, well, that's safe. You know, people might have started getting seated or whatever, but they haven't, like, done anything, because nobody gets married to Foreigner. And then, like, I'm halfway across this long field, and the music switches from, like, feels like the first time. Boom. And I go, okay, that might be bad. So I start to power walking up to the thing. I get over the top of this hill. So I'm on this hill. I'm behind. I didn't know the venue. I've never been there. I'm behind the where the father and the bride and, like, all these people are going to walk out. So if everybody turns around to look at the bride walking in, my dumbass is going to be above and behind them. And if I get to my seat, I'm going to walk past them. Like, well, that would be terrible. Let's get that done before everybody turns around. And I kind of take a look at the altar, and I notice the groom is standing there already. And the bridesmaids and the groomsmen are also standing there already. The only person missing is my cousin, the bride. And I'm like, it's 4:01! Jesus Christ, people! Like, there's no way you got all this done in a minute. You definitely started early, you fuckers. This isn't on me. You told me to be here at 4 hours at 4:01. How am I this late into the ceremony thing? And then, to make matters worse, as I'm coming down the hill trying to get to my spot, because I know the music changed, I see where everybody is, I know the bride is coming, I end up hitting, like, the runway up to where you get to the things, right as my uncle and my cousin come out of the fucking door next to me, and I'm like, shit. So then I, like, really power walk, kind of crouch down, try to get away, and I find my dad in the crowd because he's super tall, and there's a chair next to him, and, like, I get up to him, and I'm like, I am so sorry, but you guys started definitely early, this isn't my fault, and he's like, hey, man, good to have you. Real excited you're here, and I'm like, I don't know why you're not mad at me. I would be mad at me, but also it's not my fault, so I'm defending myself from me. My dad doesn't give a shit. None of my cousins seem to give a shit. The service was over, and just a couple different uncles saw me occasionally were like, didn't think you were gonna make it. And I was like, oh, well, I did. And no one was like, hey, you dumb bitch, don't walk in front of the bride. Just, if you're late, just stand off to the side. And I'm like, nope, just going right in front of her. So that was pretty cool. All right, Hammond's spamming with memes still, but Blood Penguin has a game we can probably spectate. So Blood Penguin and Drac versus Void and Tank, and we'll see if this one's laggy. Who knows? Who knows, bro? Word answers, wow, never mind. Then there was trash white lions and stuff. I don't know. At 4 p.m., that's pretty late for a wedding. Is it just the after party? No, that was the event. Though they kept it short. It was a farmer wedding, so it was like, you want to marry this person? Yeah. You want to marry this person? Hell yeah. Let's go. That was it. All right, just checking up on chat. Look at me. I'm the bride now. I should have worn white. On your left, a la Captain America. No, Grace didn't come along. We had, like, combined, we had 11 weddings this year. So we both gave each other one wedding we could skip, and she skipped that one, and I skipped one last weekend or 2 weekends ago, I forget. But it was for her friend that I've never met, and they went to Michigan, and it was a lot, so I skipped that one. It was going to be like this whole weekend at a camp thing, and I was just exhausted from all of our weddings, and I knew I had this one coming up, so I was like, fuck no, I'm not going to that one. And Grace just said no to this one. She's met this side of the family, but she had a free out, so she took the free out. Plus, Grace's mom wasn't feeling particularly good, so then it wasn't the reason she wasn't going to go. She already wasn't going to go, but then she's like, oh, well, my mom feels like shit, so I'm just going to go visit her for the day. And Basil, our puppy, got to hang out with their dog, and that was all fine. So that was just interesting. 2v2 tour. I don't know what that means. I'm looking for the Blood Penguin lobby. Okay, I found the lobby. They don't have a spectator slot again. For the love of God, Blood Penguin, give me a spectator slot, please. Please give me a spectator slot. Oh, God. Oh, no. Please. My friend. Can I spectate? Please open the slot. I'm cold and abandoned. He's cold. God damn it. Today's just a day. Wouldn't your family want to see Grace? Yeah, but they also have seen her like several times. Because like I said, we had 11 weddings this year. So they've seen her like 3 or 4 times, but I don't know, man. It's been tough. Every weekend, a bunch of shit going on, running around. Our weekends from now until Christmas are full, so all of 2022, we literally can't accept any more events because we're booked out for the next 3 months straight. And that's been all of 2022. Because like the pandemic's not over, but people have mostly moved on with their lives. Then everyone who was going to get married is like, let's do this. Camping trips that were delayed for COVID, we're like, let's go camping. I flew up to Seattle and climbed a mountain with Grace's brother. Well, sorry, not that, but Grace's sister's boyfriend, and they're not married, but they're like pretty much married. They've been dating for, I think, their anniversary for their 16th year was just around the corner. They just don't feel like getting married, but I always kind of consider him like Grace's brother-in-law. Anyway, we climbed a mountain and like all that stuff, so it's been a full year. We've done a lot of stuff, but we're both exhausted. Please do not the cat. Hammond, I like that, though I am a specific kind of shit poster. The most professional Warhammer streamer? Oh shit, what did I do? How are the puppy's paws? Any news? Her paws are as bad as they've always been for the summer. 2 days. Tuesday we can go into... I am taking her up to the cities to see a specialist that we scheduled 2 months ago, though now she has started having diarrhea all of a sudden. So great. That might be because she got into my cereal this morning, that bitch. Grace asked me to help her with the New York Times crossword puzzle, so I went in to help her with that, and then we lost Hazel for a bit. And then I suspected she was being a bad lady, so I called her over. And when she came back, she was licking her lips. And when I went back to my cereal bowl, there was a trail of milk and drool from the cereal bowl to the to the edge of the table. So she got a few licks in there. So then she had some poops. Blood Penguin's normally pretty good about this, so I don't know what's going on. But for some reason, he just won't let me in the fucking game. Are just hard passing almost all of those? Yeah. It's been brutal. It's been brutal. We have some friends, and I love my friends, but we have some friends that are like, we plan ahead because we're all at that adult point in life where you can't just like, what are you doing Saturday? Nothing, bro. Let's hang out. Like, you have to plan everything. But we're going on a trip together. We're going on a trip together up to a cabin. Over a weekend in October. We have board games with them next Sunday, and then I have board games with some of those friends, but not all of those friends, the Sunday after that. And we scheduled this all months in advance, but when they were like, in September and October, does anybody have 3 weekends to do stuff? And like, we found a way to make it work, but also I turned to Grace and I was like, I love our friends, but we're done. No more events with them until November. These 3 are it. I'm not opening up any more fucking weekends. I have shit to do. I am very concerned. I am very concerned because the Blood Penguin lobby disappeared. I swear to God, if they started it without me after answering, yes, you can spectate. I'm sorry, I didn't see your message. Ignore 4 more messages. I'm going to go insane. I just want to spectate some games. Why is this happening? Oh my God. The lobby's gone. They definitely fucking started it. And Swarv and Rollha maybe haven't started, but that was... Raced and Kiara was the lobby that we were in that like wouldn't go anywhere, and Swarv has some connection issues like that too, so I don't imagine that combination is going to be any better. We could try it. I'm not against trying it. I also just don't see it. 2v2 have good internet. 2v2 in general. I'll message Raced. I'm so sad, dude. I'd be done too. That's unhealthy, not having a single weekend off. Yeah. And I've had to work every weekend for the last... Have this. You need it while you're kicked out of the lobby sitting in the cold. Oh, man. Ayano, thanks for the survival kit. I do need it. Especially like the fire starting kit honestly looks like beef jerky to me a little bit. Welcome to America, where food looks like wood. What was I saying? Oh yeah, shit going on. The reason I hate my job so much is that I have worked all but 5 weekends. I've worked every weekend except for 5 in the last 2 years. So before that, for context, while I wait to find a game somewhere, for context, I worked 3.5 years on nights. So I worked midnight to 8 in the morning for 3 years, repairing machines at this mass spectrometry lab. And then I got a job on day shift. I was very excited about it. It was a promotion to my current job. And it was sold to me as a 9 to 5, 40 hours a week salary thing. And when I got in there, there was 3 machines, 3 mass spectrometers. And they're like, this one is just for development people. Me, I'm a development tech. You build assays on there. TY. All right. You build assays on there. And then when they're ready for the main lab, you transfer them to one of the other 2 machines that the lab is using. And it was a brand new machine, and I was joining in. I was like, oh, okay, that sounds good. Thank you for that. So I work on this machine. It's called SpongeBob. They have 2 other machines. They have this really junker old one that broke down, and they had to use SpongeBob emergency use only. And they named the other one Patrick. So there's SpongeBob and Patrick. The third one broke down. So they said, sorry you don't get your development machine, but we'll order you a new one. So they eventually order us a new one. And we get it. And it's so shiny and new that the lab is like, oh, can we run some assays on there? Because it'll look really nice because it's shiny and new. And the lab director's like, sure, you can run a couple on there. And they go, okay. And then they start running them all the time. So now there's 3 machines, and all of them are being used by the lab. And I go, okay, what's going on? And then the lab director comes up and he says, hey, the lab really likes the new machines. So you guys, we'll order you another one in a second. Okay, cool. Okay. And then that second was 2 years ago. Still don't have another machine. So I have to go in every weekend or nights. I haven't worked a normal day in forever. I either get up super early in the morning, go in on the weekend or on nights to work on the machines whenever they're not working on the machines, because I can't do anything while they're doing stuff. And they're doing clinical things, which are more important, like patient stuff. You know, like there is a patient in a bed right now waiting on this value. So they're more important than me developing tests for the future, right? That makes sense. But that's why we're supposed to have our own machine where we can tinker and fuck around and make new stuff for the patients in the future. But right now, all of them are just going to be used for patients, and they're really slow on like the getting a new machine process and all this stuff. Have fun. So I've done most of my work either extremely early in the morning to get there before they get there and run stuff and then be done by the time they show up, or going in at night, or going in on the weekends when no one's there. I've been doing that for 2 years, so I like hate this job because it's not. They didn't. I don't want to say they lied because that's really mean. They didn't know what was going to happen, but it was like, yeah, get this promotion, get off of the night shift and work a normal human schedule. I'm like, fuck yeah, dude. And they're like, never mind, stay on nights and weekends and shit. The only time you're not working, the only time you're not working is when everybody else is working, which has been nice for streaming because then I can stream while the Europeans are home from work or the North Americans are at work and just feel like listening to something. So it's been good for the YouTube channel, but for my like personal life, it's just like, oh, for fuck's sake. God damn it. I have to schedule PTO if I don't want to work on the weekend, which blows. Don't eat the wood. I want to eat the wood. Oh, context. The work-life balance in American canoe, Jesus Christ. There's always the option of hickey neat life. Skaven Dwarves versus Nurgle Cathay. Oh yeah, it's gonna be great. The swap from Nights to Days was huge from personal life. I hope they order a new machine soon. Well, honestly, it's too late at this point. I've been burned, and I just like hate my job right now. So I am going to fill my 2 years because at Mayo there's this like thing where if you take a job, you have to work it for 2 years, or they put you on a blacklist. And this is completely fair. I actually don't think that this is some bullshit. Like some people would say, you know, oh, this is corporate like overreach or something. You should be able to quit your job. You can quit your job, and they'll like pay you and stuff, and they give you severance of any PTO you didn't use. They'll pay it out. But the thing they do is they put you on a blacklist for Mayo Clinic, just being like, don't hire this guy again because he doesn't fulfill his promise, and we don't really want to train you on all of our stuff, and then have you leave before the thing. You know, so it's like when you sign up for a position, you're signing up for 2 years, or if you leave, you're severing your ties with Mayo Clinic. Just like, okay, we hope you have a good life, but just understand Mayo won't hire you back because we don't really want to go through this again. And to me, that's fair because they present that up front. They're very upfront about it. That's fair. I signed up. But my 2 years at this position is coming up January 20th, and I have a month and a half's worth of PTO stocked up. So I'm hoping to be done with work in November, go on PTO until my time is up, and then get out of there. So I'm quitting. But I'm trying to wait out the period in case I end up coming back to the Mayo Clinic, because they pay well. They have good benefits. The job is fine. It's just like, this job sucks. But my job I had for 3 years on nights, I liked the job. I just didn't want to be awake at night. So it's like, I don't want to burn the bridge with Mayo, but I'm almost done. And then I'll focus on YouTube full time for a couple months, see if this could turn into a job, which so far growth has been really good. So if growth continues like it is, yeah, this can be a job. But, you know, if the hype for IE wears off and it kind of starts to dip down, it won't be a full-time job. And then I'm going to try to go into board game design with the company. Because I designed a board game. I had a ton of fun with it. I have a shit ton of prototypes behind me. I've been through the whole system. The only problem is selling it. And it's just so hard to combat corporations as an individual. And sales have been honestly pretty bad for the board game I made. While reviews for it have been good, people who get it like it. We just can't get people to buy it. So I think if YouTube doesn't work out, I will go get a job at a board game design institution and try that out. And then if that doesn't work, Grace and I want to have kids in the next like 4 years. So then that's why it'd be nice to not burn the bridge with Mayo, where it's like, okay, try the YouTube thing. That didn't work. Try the board game thing. Okay, that didn't work. At least I have a safe job I can go back to of just like being a lab tech at Mayo Clinic and getting health insurance and a decent amount of money. Not incredible, but decent. You know? I rambled my way through an army building phase. Congratulations, you know everything about me now. Don't want to be awake at night and hand in your gamer card right now? I can be awake at night, but not midnight to 8 in the morning every fucking day. Have you advertised it? Yeah, I've tried to. What's the game called? Puppet Masters. I can talk about that in the next army build phase. But for now, we actually have a game, so let's do that. I did try to advertise it. YouTubers are kind of like cats. So I went to a bunch of board game YouTube channels and offered them money for things like, hey, I'll give you money and send you a free copy if you review this game. And I would either get no response, a few no's, very few no's, but I would either get no response or a yes with no follow-up. So I would message them and be like, hey, you said you wanted to do this. What's your price point? When would you make the video? These things. And they just never answer. Or I got yes, and then they took the money half up front, half after, and either never made the video or it's really delayed. We've had some people review it. Like, there was one review out on an Instagram channel that does this thing. There's another couple on Instagram that said yes, but then either never gave me their address to send the game to, and I haven't heard from them since. Or there's two more that did say yes, and I sent the game to them, and then they haven't posted a review yet. And Turin was going to do a tournament that I sponsored for, like, a big prize pool, and then announced the game, because a lot of the Total Warhammer community is also a bunch of board game nerds, so it's, like, proper. But then Warhammer 3's launch sucked ass, and nobody wanted to make any Warhammer content, so he's like, bro, we better put this on pause. And I said, yeah, that seems legit. And then since then, I don't know. We just haven't gotten back around to it, so it's been a whole thing. All right. The game. Bum, bum, bum. Have you asked other streamers to advertise it for you? Yeah. Yeah. A little bit. Who dares message me? Okay, it's 3. Cool. Skaven and Dwarves from Swarv and Rolling House. So far, the deployment doesn't seem to be having too much lag, so hopefully that's going okay. We have Longbeards and Miners with blasting charges on the front lines. We do have more Longbeards and Dwarf Warriors, so it looks like Dwarves are taking up a lot of the heavy infantry part of the front line. We have a couple Skaven Slaves and Clan Rats to support from Swarv, but it's mostly going to be on the Dwarves to hold the front. We have a bunch of Rat Ogres, 2 Warplock Jezzails, 4 Dwarven Cannons, 2 Plagueclaw Catapults. We do have an Assassin, a Gracier of Ruin with the Aerial Net and Dreaded 13th. We have Thoric Ironbrow to give a global 24 melee attack and cause fear to everybody here. And that's about it for this build. So shoot them to death. A couple Quarrelers too. Shoot them to death. We also have Felix for a little bit of healing. Yay, Felix. On the other side, for Bellicor, aka Kiara, and Raced, double Furies, double Long Riders, one of which is the Righteous Lances of Wei Jin, which have armor piercing. We have quadruple Cathay Artillery, one of which is a firing rocket, the other three are cannons. Miao Ying is back, Kugath is back. One Exalted Hero of Nurgle is here, ready to play. Jade Warriors are making up the sides of the front line. Front line is all Plague Bearers. We also have a couple Chaos Warriors of Nurgle with great weapons. I think I mentioned Kugath, but in case I didn't, there's Kugath. He's here. He's doing stuff. This Cathay army is actually rather small for Cathay and Nurgle. It's kind of tiny. I personally think the Dwarf Skaven combination is going to prevail. I think that is a lot of firepower and not a lot of targets, which means the targets are going to get blown up rather quickly. I also can't imagine Kugath surviving for more than 30 seconds in this game. If all 4 cannons just target his bitch ass, he's going to die instantaneously. Turn putting it on pause is fair? Yeah. For sure. Bellicor Racer in trouble? I would agree. Chasing Rainbows? I would agree. Manual fire the globes into Dowie? True. This context free member Hikinet. Social withdrawal, total withdrawal from society, and seeking isolation, confinement. I do tend to stay in my house a lot. For your board game, did you look into Shut Up and Sit Down? I did. I think they said no. I think they said no. Alright. For chat asking, that's my website for the thing. Anyway, on to the game. Fire and rockets teeing off into the Dwarven Cannons. Yeah, it doesn't look like we're going to have much lag issues in this one, which is quite good. Plague Claw Catapults are trading very well with fire and rockets. Skaven Artillery duels, Warp Lightning Cannons actually suck at it really bad, but Plague Claw Catapults are incredible because when they hit the crews, they do a lot of damage to the crews, and they have the contamination aura. So when you get hit by Discouraged by ability and damage by artillery, you can see a -20 leadership spike, which, along with any damage you do, can usually route off most artillery pieces. So Plague Claw Catapults are excellent in artillery duels if you're going to opt for that. Meanwhile, I don't know what the Dwarven Cannons are shooting at, but they really need to shoot at Kugath. We do have Furies diving in onto the cannons. That is a good call out. I mean, they need to stop them, shut them down, but I don't think you can shut down all 4. We do have a Rat Ogre charge immediately onto the Furies, going to peel them off. It's not lagging, ladies and gentlemen. It's not lagging. What a miracle. Long Riders did catch out. Oh, dick. It's lagging a little bit. Now it's fine. Long Riders are catching out the Warplock Jezzails. They were not kept within a tight enough formation and unfortunately are getting caught. Luckily, this one hasn't been spotted yet. It looks like Natty Bubos was stalked for a little bit. Now they are spotted, and these Longbows are wheeling around immediately to probably go take them out. Taking out the Cathay cannons, all 4 of them are routed, which is fair, but I feel like Kugath might be a little bit more important than those cannons, in my opinion. Howling Warpgale does stop the Righteous Lances of Wei Jin. It's just too little. It is just too late, unfortunately, for Swarv and Rolling House. And Swarv's other Jezzails are also getting rear charged on the other side. Righteous Lances of Wei Jin are now unnetted, and it looks like they might be flying straight for a Dwarven cannon. If all the artillery and shooting pieces are shot down, Kugath can probably win the entire game. So this is a big concern. I am in fact fearful, scared, alarmed, terrified. You see the Natty Booba Sharpshooters with a 70 armor are actually withstanding the Great Longbow Charge, whereas the armor-piercing variant just murdered the weapons team. That kind of relates back to our last game. We were talking about cavalry charging poison globes and such, and it's just armor-piercing is so huge versus the Skaven weapons team. Gigantic difference in performance. Minus the blasting charges have reached the Nurgle front line. It looks like only a couple of them got their blasting charges actually off. The Akron Miners were disrupted by Miao Ying, and now we're trying to pull away in some form. Kugath's taking a lot of damage from artillery, and the Cathay artillery teams are trying to get back online, but it looks like they're either having the bug where their artillery models can't be remounted, or I don't know. Because this one lost all of its ammo, so it implies all of its models are dead. They don't look dead, but I guess they are. I guess they are. These Long Riders took a gigantic amount of damage, and it was a terrible time for them. It's a very expensive unit. Righteous Lances of Wei Jin are still fighting. Still doing it. Still doing the dirty. And they are shutting down a second cannon, though we still have 2 Dwarven Cannons online, both Plague Claw Catapults and the Natty Bubo Sharpshooters, so that's plenty of shooting. You can see Red Team is extremely down in damage value. Just extremely, extremely down. It's 9,000 to 4,000, so it's a little over 2 times. and rough. Kugath's currently getting shot by cannons. Plague Blood catapults are hitting Chaos Warriors of Nurgle. We are already down to almost just melee infantry and single entities from the red forces, and they're not even close to the enemy lines, so they would have to advance over a lot of territory while getting shot to get anything done. Council Guard plus some Quarrelers are trying to peel off the Arawar Righteous Lances. I think Rolling House and Swarv need to be a little bit more aggressive about peeling off their backline, because these guys are running a little too free for my liking. Like, the Rat Ogres need to come back here. You need to cast a net on them or something and shoot them. Maybe some of these cannons even turn and fire at it, but currently they're being allowed to run wherever they want to, and I don't really like that. You have the tools to stop it from happening. They're just not being used for that purpose at this point. All 4 Dwarven cannons are back online after these 2 crews returned, which means Kugath's time is limited. He is trying to back up out of their range, but, I don't know. This means someone else will show up. Miao Ying is turning into her dragon form to try to escape double assassin, Thoric, and Felix from pounding her to death, and she does get up in the sky, so she's running away. Good for you. Righteous Lances are routed off at last. The shooting backline is uncorrupted, except for, I guess, these assholes came back. They're not doing anything. There's only 6 of them. They're not armor-piercing, so Netty Boobos will probably take care of them soon enough, and I think that'll seal the deal on Blue's superiority. The Cathay and Nurgle Blob will be defeated by getting shot. This also applies to 1v1, not even just 2v2. So if you're facing Cathay or Nurgle, don't sprint into them with melee infantry. Just shoot them. Shoot them to death. You saw it here first. It works actually pretty well. Just keep killing them. Jade Warriors have busted as fuck melee stats when they're in their box, but not if you shoot them. Melee defense doesn't help when a giant weird mucus ball slams into you, and you just die. You just die like a little biscuit. Kugath's reaching his healing cap. I just don't think there's too much they can do at this point. Gonna do some... Ooh, that was ruined. Okay, I was gonna say that. Friendly fire on that there, the Stream of Corruption, but it wasn't that. The only thing the Skaven weapons teams have for survivability is their armor. HP per model is high, but the model count is low, and their stats are a joke. Yeah. And Dwarves and Skaven, pretty good at shooting. Pretty good at rootin', tootin', shootin' pootin'. And we're like putting this bullet in your face. Assassins are actually doing alright versus Meow Gang. Better than I would have thought. Though I suppose they do have Assassin's Trophy Honor, so their stats are pretty low. 70 armor isn't a ton. It's a good amount, but not a ton. Ow. It's just I say that, though. She's putting the work right back on the Assassins. They're having a bad time. Oh, well. She's reaching her healing cap. I wonder if she's... I think she still has that Dragon Bug, where she turns back into a dragon, she'll have a higher heal cap. And, like, Kugath could heal her or something. Not that it matters in this game. You can see her healing cap's almost here. I just wonder if she turns into dragon if it increases. Watched the tutorial, skimmed through. Seems like a neat concept. Like 2 necromancers fighting with the same graveyard is my takeaway. Roughly, yeah. Yeah. They're talking about my board game. If you didn't catch that. The ultimate AFK race. You're talking about dwarves or Nurgle or who? Out of these 4 factions, I honestly could see you talking about anybody. Kugath is down. Without him, I would not be shocked if army losses hits. Oh, hey. Army losses hits. Kind of like that Scruffy from Futurama, war were declared. Wait, no, that wasn't Scruffy. It was some random asshole. Void and Tank have prevailed over Blood Penguin and Drax, so they're off to the finals. Greyseer did fine. Assassins did pretty great. Giselles, one of them got shut down really quickly, but the one that didn't got good value. Plague Claw Catapults actually did pretty insane for like the first time in their entire life, and Rat Ogres did extremely well also. Cannons, incredible value as they just shot Kugath most of the game. Miners and Quarrelers gave their blood for the Blood God as they needed to, and Thoric and Felix did fine. Kugath, not a lot of value, spent most of his time healing himself, trying not to die. Plague Bears and Chaos Warriors rode the Struggy bus all the way home. Longs with Armor Piercing did well. Longs without Armor Piercing also actually did quite well. Miao Ying didn't really get too much done, and their cannons all got big murdered. Jade Warriors also struggled. The Struggy bus. I'm just gonna stay here. I'm staying here. I'm not leaving. I'm not gonna find another lobby again. Fuck that shit. So Swarv and Rolha will advance. We'll get Odium Tretch and Axe Sotek in here. And push on. Push on, push on, push on. 4 more games left, potentially. Best of 1 into best of 3. So minimum 3, maximum 4. Oi. And we'll hope the lag has subsided for the day. War were declared. I wonder if Tretch is around. I'll find him. I'm on it. Human boy with abandonment issues from the lobby. I'm staying this one because I want to get left out again. Exactly, dude. Exactly. All right, the poll is in with 75 votes. VC took 61% combined. Tomb Kings 25 and VP 11 for the best 2v2 faction. I think you're all wrong. I think the best 2v2 faction is Lizardman. Easy cap. Most people have some affection disorder. Mine's being a little biscuit. I think that's actually an official term. Little biscuit disorder. Tretch is on their way. I sent them the code. I'm gonna take a leak. Burb. We're back. Oi. So what do we have? What do we have? Tretch and Axe Sotek are hovering Ogre Kingdom's Tomb Kings, but is it true? Could it possibly be true? Let's check the official listing to see what these people are supposed to be playing. It is Tomb Kings and Ogre Kingdoms versus Skaven and Dwarves. That might be tricky. Best 2v2 faction, Beastmen, because Beastmen best. Torox, don't worry, I got you, buddy. I got you. Hold on. Hold on, Torox. Hold on, buddy. All right, new poll. Everybody prove Torox wrong. Get him. Kick his ass. Especially if their take Kazric one eye. Really love how Torox to have a PR speak answer to along the lines of Kazric is a valued colleague and a close friend of all here at Beastmen. This is true. Kazric is still valued even if he only has one eye. Gotrek only has one eye and he's valued. No more corporate BS, please. Uh-oh. What happened? The ogres are coming to get you. That was a good... The ogres had one of the best hype trailers. The ogres are coming to get ya! Kind of reminded me of that Hobbit scene a little bit, where they're all singing by the fire. Though it's obviously a very different feel, but it's still good. Ogres need help? Yeah. To relate back to our earlier conversation, I think ogres need more help than high elves do. Torox has no bias in this manner? Yeah. It's a pretty... I mean, it's a pretty legit vote. I did go to statistics school. The School of Statistics, the Minnesota Colleague Institute of Numbers, of big, many numbers. I spell numbers good. So I think that's a good poll right there. Torox says Beastmen are the best 2v2 faction. How we feel? Yes or sure? Why not? Yeah. Wide range of answers. So far, 13 out of 13 votes are agreeing with you, Torox. Yeah, yeah. L'Anguille is the map. It is small. It is wooded. So the Skaven dwarves... Ooh, actually, the Skaven dwarves might have a hard time seeing anything. Yeah. Did anybody see Murph Alert stream? Was it last night or 2 nights ago that Murph came back to streaming a little bit, streaming some land battles? I popped in and out. It seemed like he was having a good time, but I was busy. Axe Sotek is ready with his ogres. Odium Tretch is getting close. He's just doing some chevron juggling. And Swarv and Rolling House have been sitting on roughly the same build for quite a while now, so I'm guessing they're ready. Swarv's ready. Axe Sotek is ready. But will Tretch and Rolling House get their shit together? He streams again? I don't know. He did a one-off. I don't know if it's a consistent thing. Let's go Tretch and Sotek. Those are my boys. What up, Pantalinade? But how can you root against the dwarves? Panta, you must be so conflicted. The ogre's bad because collision model issues? Collision model issues, 100% John Malcolm. Yeah. Because they are expensive. There's 2 things wrong with the ogres right now. Is they rely on monstrous infantry, which can be good in niche scenarios, but your whole roster is them, so that leaves you in a niche scenario kind of thing. And monstrous infantry have the problem of colliding with each other, like you literally just said. I have a couple videos on my channel about this, but one of my favorite ones was... It was this single Kossar, like just a single guy, not a whole unit. It was a single guy, and the ogres had units to chase the whole Kossar unit, but they surrounded this one guy. As the rest of the Kossars got away, they all just piled up on this one guy, and they were like jiggling next to him instead of swinging. And legitimately, the video shows that it lasted for 1.5 minutes, which is in a land battle is a lifetime. And then they all swing at once and finally kill him. But like they have that problem all the time. The other problem with the ogres is their roster is extremely one note, and any small roster can have that issue. But the ogres are thematically super loyal to their lore. The problem with that is all of their units are large, besides like the 2 Noblar variants. So if you have an army against them, if you just spam any unit with anti-large, you're actually probably going to win the game. So they struggle with that. They need some DLC that gives them a couple small unit options, or units that are like resistant to anti-large would be interesting. I think Sotek was talking about that before the ogres even came out. That would be like a unique ogre trait resistant to anti-large on a couple units. Obviously not their whole roster, that would just be toxic, but like, you know, have some specialist shock troops that are resistant to anti-large might be interesting. They also need more monster variants, is something we discussed. Because their current, like, they're a monster faction, but their only actual monster is a Stonehorn, which is like 2,000 fucking gold. So they kind of need, like, the Lizardmen have the Bastildon for 650, and it's this extremely armored, slow thing. I could see the ogres getting something like that, like a 700 or 800 gold, single, like, rhino type thing that runs around and has maybe 100 armor, causes terror, and pretty good charge stats, but not great, like, leadership or something. I don't know. That could be interesting. So they need more single entity diversity, and they need something to stop bonus versus large from just killing them. You know? Aren't Sabertusk large? Yes. Yes, they are. It's possible not to root for the Axe of Sotek. Mostly because I'm afraid he would snap me in 2 if I did. Do you know this person? I don't know Axe of Sotek. This is my first experience with him. This guy is a giant. Human boy, there's the cats, dude. The cats are also large. Hold on, I think we have some in this build. I could just hover over them. No, we don't. Damn it. The cats are large, I promise you. Feral Rhinox? Yeah. I don't know the Ogre's lore super well, so I don't know all the units. But, yeah. Or chariots that aren't also artillery, but like real chariots. Because chariots do ignore a lot of anti-large. If you sit in anti-large, chariots are mega fucked. But they just, the way chariots work, they roll through your front line. Like real chariots do, you know. You can disrupt the anti-large bracing, and then the ogres can follow it up. But they currently don't have any chariots. They don't have any small units that matter. They don't have any single entities that aren't 2,000 gold, so that's what the ogres struggle with. Yeah. Oh yeah, saber tusks are large. Yep. Yep. Anyway. I tend to wait for the armies to kind of form up before I start talking about them. It is difficult when they move everything everywhere. So we'll start on the ogres and tomb kings. We have 5 Gnoblar trappers in the vanguard, 2 tomb scorpions, a couple skeleton chariots. It looks like 3 of them overall. We do have 1 Mournfang cav with great weapons. That's the anti-large variant. For the tomb kings, Ark in the Black is the caster lord with Doom and Darkness to rout off Skaven that are low and Spirit Leech. We also have some Nankara horsemen. Chosen Gods Ushabti great bows, a couple Gnoblars in the front line, but the main front line is going to be skeleton warriors from the Tomb Kings plus the Kepler Guard. We have a ton of Ogre Bulls and Iron Guts to support real infantry, which is actually kind of cool. Ogres might not be too bad in 2v2 because they have real infantry as a front line for once that Monstrous Infantry can support. Monstrous Infantry are great when supported by basic infantry. They just don't have a lot of that. It's why you see Gnoblars, even though Gnoblars suck, is they're crucial. They're just not very good at what they need to do. I mean, they're cheap. They're super cheap, so they're fine, but I think ogres would benefit from a front line that doesn't run away immediately. Skeleton horsemen, some skeleton horse archers can help chase off anything that's already routing or shoot at gyrocopters in case of air cheese. Just a little bit of caution there. We do have a hunter on a stone horn and then a basic stone horn. The hunter on a stone horn does have the Gnoblar thief stone. He doesn't have the bang stick thing, which I appreciate. I think that spell's pretty bad personally. And we do have a Slaughtermaster the Great Maw with Troll Guts and Bone Crusher. It's a bit of single target healing. Could help with Stonehorns. Could help Ark in the Black, honestly, because he doesn't have the Tomb King's healing spells, obviously, as the Lore of Death. Rush build from the red side, which is smart. Don't try to outshoot Dwarves and Skaven. It's not going to work. For the Dwarves and Skaven, we have Midas Blast Charges as a front line, a bunch of Plague Monks, interestingly enough, Skaven Slaves, Kleinrat Spears, Longbeards. We do have the Council Guard mixed in, so very diverse front line. In the back line, we have some Slayers and Skaven Slaves, Rat Ogres. We again have 2 Plague Claw Catapults that are going to try to shoot over these trees. We have triple cannon from the Dwarves, some Quarrelers, some Thunderers, a very, very mixed roster, which is good to see. We have Deathmaster Snitch, a Plague Priest, and an Assassin, so a very heavy sniping corps from the side of the Scavinos. And we have Thoric and Felix for some healing again. Thoric's for the army-wide buffs from Rolling House. So pretty nice stuff. Really like the mixed core. And they are trying to use trees to their advantage a bit. I wonder if the Plague Claw Catapults are too close. I think they're just going to throw into the trees and get stuck. I don't think they're far enough back that the Arcs of Fire is going to take them over. Yeah, one of them hits the trees, but they're doing okay for now. When their enemies get closer, though, they're actually going to struggle to hit anything, in my opinion. A little bit of lag as we start off. We are moving up. I wonder why the Chosen of the Gods are positioned here and not here. While it is obvious that you would put something over here, there's also a reason it's obvious. Firing into the trees for the Chosen of the Gods is miserable. So I don't know what they're going to shoot. Like, they're just going to shoot into trees and get blocked. But they can shoot stuff over here, so if they deploy on this way and come this way, there's something to be said about juking out your opponent, because maybe, like, the Dwarves had all their cannons ready to shoot the Chosen right here, the Chosen of the Gods, but I don't know. I just don't know what they're going to do on this side. We'll have to see. Tretch and Axe Sotek are certainly crafty enough to know what they're doing. A couple of spears just counters everything. That's why I need guns, which aren't great. The Abnar mod for EU4 Ogre Cavalry represented ogres in massive suits of armor that charge in. So I think that would be ogres anti-large unit massive. Yes. I don't know, it'd be too hard to give ogres some normal infantry, just make them mercenary regiments. That could be kind of interesting. Anyway. the Blitz has arrived. They now see all of the Skaven waiting in the trees, and the Skeleton Horsemen are going to avoid that. Is Langui with the annoying trees? Yeah, though in Warhammer 3 they did change some of the maps up a little bit. You have to mix in Noblogs with the Ogres fighting infantry, so the Noggers take damage, not the Ogres. Yarr. They just can't hold very long. They're like, for 200 gold, they're a good unit for what they need to do. I'm just saying the Ogres would also like a variant of unit that doesn't break so they could mix it up a bit. Because if you know they have Noblars and just Noblars, that's it. You know? The Stonehorn tries to charge some Skaven slaves, but does a dumb charge animation where he doesn't go very deep into it at all, and then he just kind of hits like 2... He literally killed 2 Skaven slaves and gave up on it. Alright. Alright, Stonehorn. Nekar Horsemen are charging. They will do a lot more, and Deathmaster Snitch tries to catch the Stonehorn. The Stonehorn's going to fuck off. Arkin needs to be very careful here from Tretch. He is piling in way too far, and he needs to start Spirit Leeching Snitch. Now, a big moment is Swarv has overextended with Snitch. Snitch is way out in the middle of nowhere, and he could be punished if we put a Spirit Leech on him. We Spirit Leech the Assassin instead. I do think that's a mistake, and now Arkin is trying to get away. It looks like the Nekar Horsemen are going to peel off Snitch for him as he runs, and that is a good play, but I think it was a missed opportunity, unfortunately. For the Dwarven side, unfortunately, none of the Skaven mass. You can see all the Rat Ogres are over here. Ooh, that is a big misplay. And without their mass to stop anything, the Chariots are rolling straight through the front line, not concerned at all, and they are going to shut down these cannons quite effectively. Something was cast over here. I don't actually know what that was. It wasn't a fiery ring or anything. Historic Ironbrow is not nearby. I don't know what that cast was. Oh, it was minus blast charges. Okay, yeah. It just looked weird. So a lot of the infantry over here is getting defeated, but you can see Ogres are just going to pile straight through and shut down a lot of cannons and a lot of value, and we already have Chariots doing the same thing. You can also hit these Thunders. The only problem I could see is that the Tomb Kings and Ogres don't have enough over here to cover everything, so eventually the Chariots will just get whittled down. They are focusing very heavily on the tree fight, which I guess they better hope that they win. Snitch is still chasing around Arkin, but now he's going to get surrounded by Ogres. And Ogres are great against low armor units like the Assassin and Snitch. I really think Arkin should just support this fight in general. Throw some Spirit Leech downs, throw some Doom and Darknesses down, do something about that, and take out the Skaven Lord. Could be rather effective. Let's see, cannon getting shut down. Another cannon is getting shut down by Skirmish Cav, but that Skirmish Cav is going to die, so who cares? And we do have Mournfang Cav with great weapons charging. But Pit Fighters are there to stop them, so they need to run away. Lost some Pokey Pokes, Skeleton Horse Archers doing fine. It looks like the red team is actually in a pretty huge advantage at this moment. They caught out the Skaven leadership significantly. There are no support pieces anywhere nearby. My only concern is that they're overcommitting to killing Snitch and Deathmaster Snitch. Snitch and the Assassin. There's just so many units here that are all going to block each other that you need to be using to pierce the Skaven lines. So while committing to that fight is very smart, very good, and I love it, they're overcommitting a little bit that could bite them in the ass if their entire charge is shut down while they just try to kill Snitch in the backfield. And Ogres could be doing Ogre things where they just surround Snitch and don't swing, so yeah, could be a concern. Snitch is Spirit Leeching, though. That's smart. Stonehorn is running rampant through the Skaven and Dwarven lines. Rat Ogres can try to stop him, but Cathay has had many an experience with double Stonehorn sprinting through them endlessly. And I think that the Dwarves and Skaven are about to find out that that is very unfun. Ushapti summon from the Tomb Kings, adding a little bit more meat to this side. We can see there are skeleton chariots nearby. I think red is in a great position to shut down everything. And Hazel Basil's here to whine and say hello. Hello, little Hazel Basil. I hope you're enjoying the slideshow a little bit because you're so nice and sweet. We love you. There's also the Hunter on a Stonehorn back here. So the Dwarves have lost a lot of their shooting capacity, unfortunately for them. The Skaven might have lost their Lord, and in rebuttal, they're getting a good amount of damage on the Tomb King's front line, but I don't know if that's going to matter as much. Mournfang weapons, great weapon. Cav is running away from some Rat Ogres, though the Rat Ogres have taken a decent amount of damage. There's some Clan Rat Spears around the Skaven Slaves, but it looks like we have a Stonehorn to bail out that guy. No problem whatsoever. Assassin is routed. Everything besides the Skeleton Horseman should get off of him and leave him alone. And I need to go do other stuff. Skeleton Horseman is cheap and exactly for the purpose of chasing off stuff. Deathmaster Snitch is getting charged by way too many things. Oh, I don't like it. It's too many things. They're just getting in each other's way. Please stop. Please stop. This is a disaster for the Dwarves still. We do have some Chariots in the back line that if they get orders to go over here from Tretch, that would be ideal. Frontline is holding from the Dwarves and Skaven. Honestly, they are winning the frontline fight. And there, Snitch is routed too. Alright, everything besides one Skeleton Horseman and maybe the Nehekar horsemen, like all the ogre units just need to leave. Leave this alone. Leave it alone. Just chase them off the map. There's too many of you. Get the fuck out of here. And it looks like that is what they are going to do. Thankfully, the Mornfang Cav are going to go get involved with some of their stuff. Skeleton horsemen and Nehekar horsemen are also going to go do things. That's fine. I mean, whatever. As long as there's not everything chasing off these two units, that's perfectly acceptable. Red team is slightly ahead on the balance of power. Red team is about even on the damage value, but it's looking tough. Gold Chevron Noblars? I actually haven't thought about that or tried that. The most elite of Noblars. Storm Noblar! I suppose Human Boy lag, because both games without Human Boy were fine for me in Void. Okay. I mean, we had a game that was not laggy too, but okay. Human Boy bringing the curse of lag. I had a game without lag just a bit ago. With Swarv, Rolling House, and then Kiara and Raced. The one... wait, no. Was it the Cathay Nurgle one that wasn't laggy? Or was it a different one? I'm trying to remember. We've had one non-laggy game today. It was nice. It felt nice. I'm gonna look back. I think it was Be'lakor and, yeah, Raced and Swarv and Rolha, I think, yeah. Right. Snitch has been run off the battlefield, same as the Assassins. Skaven in general are just routing across the board. Dwarves are holding, as dwarves do. They've lost a lot of their assets. Kind of surprised Tretch isn't chasing off some more of this stuff with these chariots. Should probably do that. Quick Rune of Wrath and Ruin onto the Skeleton Chariots doesn't do too much to them. It mostly only does damage to infantry or maybe super clumped up cavalry, but not really chariot models. Mornfang Cav with great weapons and double stone horns do need to get back here and just roll along this line and route everything they possibly can. Currently bobbing up a little bit on a Plague Priest on foot, and Mornfang Cav aren't really great against foot characters at all. At all. We will see. I think this might be doomed for Rolling House and Swarv. Just don't see a way they can come back in it. Now their front line's starting to fall apart, and there's just so much left for the red team, man. There's so much. Both Stonehorns are healthy, right? Where are the Stonehorns? There's one. He's doing fine. Where's the other one? There he is. He's also doing fine. And they have healing if they need it in the form of Troll Gods. Arkan's fine. Mornfang Cav are fine. We have plenty of ogres running around. Yeah. Yeah. Ogre's Tomb King's OP. Too strong. Can't do nothing. Oh, we have some little rallying ogre bulls. Holy crap, 9 models in that low HP. That's not a lot of HP per ogre. Anything looks at them the wrong way and they'll die. That's looking like it. Yeast. It has been an exceptionally laggy day, I will say that. Because 1 game out of 4 was not laggy. What is that? Oh, it's just a weird rat ogre model. Big fucking claws is like way too large for what he's trying to do. Just keep stabbing it into the ground. There's kind of this weird blue-gray. Oh, they're the pit fighters. Okay, that'll explain why their color scheme's so weird. Because the rest of Skaven don't look that strange. Yeah, these rat ogres are still that normal, like, tan. But the pit fighters are blue, I guess. Weird. The fucking Chosen of the Gods are back here, full ammunition. They just weren't even needed. They have 80 damage value. Oh my god. That's pretty funny. The games today will cripple my internal clock for a while. Yeah. Yeah. Oh boy. Blue team should probably concede. I like just don't see a way for them to win at this point. They're all just getting sprinted off the map, man. They're chosen to take the best naps. Yeah. But now they're back. With full ammunition, ready to go. I don't know what they're going to shoot, but, I mean, you can try to shoot at Thoric, but I think you do more friendly fire damage if you surrounded Thoric than shooting him. Tank, if you're there, you can feel free to host finals if you think that'll help with the lag stuff. Nekkar's been piling into Plague Claw catapults. The only shooting unit left online is these Thunderers. I guess this Plague Claw catapult's surviving. I don't know. Oh boy. Oh boy. Okay. This is kind of like when, not to be an asshole, just saying like how it feels is kind of like when a domination game, like we talked about earlier in the stream, when like you triple cap, you're down points and the enemy needed like one more tick of points, but now they have no troops left and you triple cap and you just need to watch the bar go up through all of them. That's kind of what this feels right now. It's just, I literally don't see how the red team could lose this. But army losses is being a stubborn little biscuit. If the Slaughtermaster does chuck himself straight into his death by fighting Thoric and Felix without healing, he might die, and then no healing, maybe this could be done. But if he stays alive and you have like Troll Guts. Plus, you have to have Butcher by now. Ogres have been running off a ton of units. They have to have Butcher ready. So you have big heals on your roster ready to go. Another Rune of Wrath and Ruin onto some chariots. And Tomb Scorpions are trying to bail out the Slaughtermaster. Okay, he did get himself routed, and he's currently surrounded by troops, so he's going to get walked off. That is a pretty big mistake from the red team, but even then, the balance of power just keeps getting worse and worse for the blue team as they are pushed further away. Spirit Leech onto Felix will drain him over time. He's probably going to healing cap in this game, just because Felix is pretty good at healing when he stands around and does stuff, but Spirit Leech will drain him slowly and surely. Oh, Lord. Oh boy. Come on. Amen. Ogres are trying to rally their lord. Are these Slayers? They are Slayers. Oh, that explains why that guy was getting so fucked up. He was standing in Halberds and Slayers and Thoric Ironbrow. Yep. Little bit of a mistake from Axe Sotek. Your warriors are rallying, yay! Double Tomb Scorpion trying to fight Thoric, and losing. Arkin is also doing a little bit of cycle charging in here as well. Oh boy, what are the Chosen of the Gods doing? They're just running around! Do something! Oh, I'm losing my mind. This Ogre Lord should rally, right? I mean, there's no units near him. He has tons of allies nearby. I think he will. Tomb Scorpion still trying to fight Thoric and losing. Support Lord for the win. Shows the gods are going to turn and fire at some Slayers, but they're being run at by miners. Oh my goodness. Probably bugged and not doing what he wants. Maybe. I mean, they were just sitting in a forest for most of the game, so I do think they were forgotten about for a bit. There we go. Alright. They are conceding. Thank the Lord we don't have to fight through this. And it's over. It's over. Blue team concedes. Ugh. Oh, everything says 0 value. That's lame. If someone concedes, it should definitely just tell you the value at the time. Lame sauce. All right, that is over. We will go to the finals now of Tretch and Axe Zotek versus Void and Tank. See which of them feels like hosting. Yeah. Yeah. Finals is a best of 3. You blind pick your stuff and send it to Cuden. Void and Tank already blind picked all their random stuff. I think if finals is super laggy, what we'll do is just back out and cast the replays. So I'll have them send me replays and stuff as the games happen. So again, if it's laggy, I will just back out. Have them send me the replays as each game is completed, so then they can continue playing the games while I cast their stuff, and then we could do some quick battles or something to fill the time. Total Taverns back up. Oh, Platypus had his newbie tournament today instead of yesterday because of the faction war or whatever. That's where all these domination lobbies are coming from. 150 signups. Jesus Christ. Jeebus Christmas. Okie dokie. So I'm just waiting for somebody to set up a lobby. There's Tanks. Okay. Join with code. Oh, shush. I think there's a space in front of it. That's why it's so mad at me. There it is. Tank and Void. Spectate. 1, 2, 3. And let's see how it goes. The threaded leg. This is why, if there's ever a laggy game, you have to permaban every player involved from ever participating in an event again. And then someday our community will just be like 9 players with really good connection, and that's it. And then every game will be perfect, and everyone will be happy. Glorious. Counts and Scavinos versus Ogre Kingdoms and Tomb Kings is going to be game 1, because it's the factions you picked going into the tournament. It could be rough. It could be rough. I mean, the Tomb Kings and Ogres are almost certainly going to rush you. And Skaven don't like that at all. Anticity's streaming. Mercy the Mad is streaming. Platypus will be streaming soon. Lock on. To see there's like 500 people watching this campaign. I think it's because I mostly have a multiplayer community. I have done some campaign streaming, and we get some viewership, which is nice, but I can't quite seem to break into that like big campaign community, and I just don't understand entirely what people get out of it, I guess. I don't know. I never watched a bunch of campaign streams. Like, I never really watched Legend of Total War or any of that stuff. I just got bored too quickly. Because usually it's like cheese. You know? Like, oh, I used the thing where if you put a single entity in the gate, the enemy AI just bugs out, and then you can do this and this cheese. But then they do that like 700 times in a row and just get bored. Turn had some kind of interesting campaign stuff sometimes. Like his Balthazar Guild campaign was interesting, I guess. But I don't know. I mean, I'll do whatever's good for the channel, so if campaign stuff pops off, I'll definitely include that in the repertoire, but like I've said, we've been trying it a little bit, seeing how people fare, and it's okay. It does a little worse than our multiplayer stuff. I usually try to put challenges associated with it to make it fun. I've not noticed any lag yet. Too busy listening to a human boy. Yes, yes. It's a podcast at this point. It's just a podcast. Just me ranting about random shit. Cygor and the big and best artillery because they're big monsters and throw the big rocks. I wouldn't disagree, Torox, but I also think you're entirely wrong. I think you're entirely wrong, and that's a shit opinion. You're not allowed to like things, sir. You have to do whatever I say is meta. And what is meta is 89 million skirmish cav, as much regen as you could fit on your roster. If you can get barriers, get the barriers. Spam Seekers of Slash. That's the only way to have fun in this game. And if you're not doing exactly that, then fuck you. Or so some of the comment section of my videos would have me believe. I love the people that pop up in comments. Like, I'm gonna put them on blast. If they're subscribers, rip. I guess I'll lose some subscribers. But I love people that show up in, like, a bug or a meme video. And they're like, why would you just complain about things all the time? Why don't you do anything about it? It's like, well, I report the bug to CA when I make the video. But also, I don't work there, so I can't change it. And 3, it's funny. I think bugs are funny. You have never seen more joy in a human being than me on live stream when I find a bug. Because whenever I make a video, I've seen the bug already to make the video. So then the reaction isn't as great, but I love bugs, dude. I think they're so great. Obviously, I hope they get fixed. Like, I don't hope a bug just sticks around. But discovering bugs is just a little treasure because I find them really funny. Like that, I didn't get to make a goddamn video because they patched it. Oh, it was so sad. But the Golden Floof versus, it wasn't Gentle Rat. I think it was Cube Cadden. That game where the High Elves versus Skaven, and he summoned the Skaven summon, and when it disintegrated all but one rat. And there was one rat with 1 hit point who shattered and ran off the map even though he was a summon. I was going to make a video out of that, but the replay got fixed by the patch, and then I deleted it because I was making all these videos, and then they released this thing where you can go back to previous patch, but I don't have the replay anymore. But that was so funny. Like, I laughed really hard when I saw it because I was trying to think of, like, a skit to do with him where, like, you know, it was this rat, and I give him, like, a name, like Richard, and Richard's actually he's a real rat. He's a real boy, but he somehow got stuck with this crew of fake rats. And then when they all disappear, he's just, like, awkwardly there, and he's like, oh, shit. I was never here! And he runs off the map or something. I don't know, dude. I love bugs. Bugs are funny. Bugs that don't get fixed are infuriating and tragic, but bugs in general make me the big happy. Because, man, I played Gears of War back when you could run underneath the map and, like, shoot up through the floor. That was really funny. Though that one didn't get fixed in Gears of War 1 ever, so then it got really toxic. But when you first discover that, you have such a good time. Right. Let's see if it's going to be laggy. For the Tomb Kings and Ogres, we do look like we have a rush with a bit of shooting elements. We have the Chosen of the Gods. Hopefully this game they have something to do. Hopefully. They're just like, guys, please, we really want to help. Double Lead Belcher, which is risky. They are probably going to get shot. Oh, yeah, this isn't against Dwarves and Skaven, though. This is against Vampire Counts and Skaven. So they'll still probably get shot, but it's not as bad. Some horsemen, a bunch of ogres, some Noblas in the front line, skeleton spearmen in the back, more ogres. We do have the Sky Striders, crushers with great weapons. These guys are a very fragile and extremely punishing unit. So if you micro them perfectly, they can carry entire games for you. But if you make one mistake, they do the big dead. I think they're a good unit. I just think they're very fragile. More and more Mournfang Cav with great weapons. We have some Necropolis Knights with halberds. Oh, that's interesting. Some Skelly Chariots. We have Ark in the Black in the center with a Noblar Scrap Launcher, Butcher of the Great Maw, and a Ooh, what the fuck? Oh, it's probably for Lord Sniping. A Butcher of the Great Maw and a Tyrant so that you can't lose your Caster and Lord in the same swing, so it's going to take a little bit more to take him down. That makes sense. Then we have some Skirmish Cav and Eyes of the Desert. I don't know about this. I don't really know about taking Skirmish Cav and some shooting versus Skaven Vampire counts. Because you're gonna lose the shooting fight. Nobody outshoots Skaven, especially if you're gonna half-ass it. If you want to outshoot Skaven, you need to like go all in on outshooting Skaven or go all in on rushing him. I don't like this half and half approach, so I personally think Tretch and Sotek are in trouble. Could be wrong, but initially from the army comp, I am not liking this combination. I think the last game they had a good idea, but they full rushed together, and now they're kind of dancing about. For Void Lulls and Tank, let's take a look. We have 3 Giselles, we have Grey Seer of Plague, we have Gorich, who can receive some healing from Isabella von Karstein, because her Blood Chalice doesn't say you need to be undead, it just needs to be a hero or lord. So Gorich can actually get healed by her. Pretty good combo. We have a bunch of Skaven Slaves. We have a pretty close to the corner deployment, but hopefully they'll move up. We have a bunch of Crypt Horrors, Rat Ogres, as we did last time. Skaven Slaves mixed with Skeletons, mixed with Zombies, as we did last time. We have some Blood Knights, Double Vargulf, I think I mentioned that, some Poison Wind Globes. And that's it for the shooting. Okay, so Skaven went extremely light on shooting. I still think 3 Giselles is enough to honestly outshoot everything that was brought against them. Because they outranged Leadbelchers, and they kill Leadbelchers very easily. They outranged the Chosen of the Gods, and killed the Chosen of the Gods pretty easily. And the Scrap Launcher is just going to miss a bunch because they're spread out. So I don't know. I think the Skaven, even with minimal commitment to the shooting fight, are going to outshoot this. And then they're going to blob up with a fuck ton of Crypt Horrors and Rat Ogres and just kill you in the blobs. So, I don't know. I pretty heavily favor the Vampire Counts of Skaven build after I saw both builds. Leadbelchers are getting fucked up. They're getting fucked up. Chosen the Gods are trying to fire in. We'll see how much their spread shot does. Yeah, not a ton. Like, that looks like a lot of damage, but if you know how much the Chosen of the Gods can do versus, like, cavalry or something, you'll know that that's not nearly as much as their normal potential. And you can see what 3 Giselles has already done to a Leadbelcher in that amount of time. Oof. Just oof. Quick Storm Vermin Halberd Summon is going to chase the Chosen of the Gods around while Giselles keep teeing off on them. Yeah, this is a rough start. Lag's looking okay. There's a bit here and there, but it's better than a lot of our games have been. As soon as I just said that, though, we got a pretty nasty spike. Sparkle Stalkers trying to be careful. They are spotted now, so they could get gunned down by 3 Giselles, and it looks like they are going to run away. Scrap Launcher's still trying to shoot the Skaven, but I really don't think it's going to do that much damage. I mean, it misses entirely, so it does 0 damage, but that's not a very fair comparison. Second Leadbelcher's already going down. It's going down hard, Captain. And what's this Skirmish Cav gonna do? Oh god. Tomb Kings and Ogres are just getting shot, and they really don't have an answer to it, unfortunately. Seppo Stalkers try to get some damage out, but they are gonna get charged by Double Vargulf. They have some zombies behind them, so they're having a hard time retreating. And it's like, the rest of these Ogres, man, they have to charge, but they're just not. They're just sitting here and taking a very disadvantageous trade into the Skaven. You can see the damage value is about 2 to 1, and the Ogres are still just content to sit back and let it happen. Oh, I'm so sad. I'm so sad. What is that? Unholy Lodestone? Okay, I was wondering if it was a Mortis engine. Both Leadbelchers are down. They're down. I mean, yeah, they technically... That one's not shattered, and this one will break, but it'll come back. But they're not going to be effective in this game. Their volume of fire is way down. We do have Gnoblars moving up, but so too do Crypt Horrors and Skeletons. It's GG. It's GG. 2 minutes into the game, and I can already tell you it's over 100%. 100%. 112% even, for being technical. Yeah. Yeah. Some Skirmish Cav trying to shoot the Crypt Horrors. They don't have the volume of fire of normal archers. They'll do okay. The Crypt Horrors are just going to get healed past all of it. Poison Globes nuking a little bit of anti-synergy there as they hit multiple Crypt Horrors and a Vargulf while also routing off a random Gnoblar. So definitely not worth it on that globe throw, but I think they're on fire at will, so that might have been a little bit of a whoopsie. Let's see how much these Crushers do. If they can get a nice charge on this Crypt Horror, it could be satisfying. I think their mistake is not bringing Torx to Brass Bolt. That is also very true. Crushers somehow don't complete their charge. I mean, they got into their own Gnoblars and then for some reason just ran out of momentum and stopped in place, but they are still slaughtering the Crypt Horrors after, just not as satisfying as I would have liked. Ogres are charging in, but their Noblars are already breaking, so it's a little bit of a desync in the advancement. All 3 Jezzails are still online. Where's the third one? There it is. Yeah, all 3 Jezzails are still online. Lead Belchers came back only to die. They will now retreat. Damage value is still about 2 to 1-ish. When do we get to see the Dowie Kite box? When I'm dead. Necro Knights with Halberds are just getting fucking murked. Ugh, Master Beguilement plus Blood Knights plus Crypt Horrors and maybe some Vargulfs, and they're all getting peeled off. Purple Stalkers are getting pushed away just so they got a volley off. Arkin is getting dueled by Isabella. I do think that, unfortunately, game 1 is a quick GG. Damage value is coming back for Tretch and Axe of Sotek, now that they're in melee. That might not be enough. What is this? Chosen of the Gods are teeing off onto the Grayseer and actually doing a lot of damage to him. He'll need a Blood Chalice soon from Isabella, who is nearby. Torok's the best multitasker. He really is. He really, really is. The Sky Striders are trying to get some work done, charging into random zombos and maybe hitting the Unholy Lodestone. They don't do a lot of damage on the charge, and now they're getting shot by 2 different Jezzail units on their retreat. Ooey owie. Should have picked a Dowie. Some skirmishers from Tretch ended up in melee combat with some Crypt Horrors who were also fighting Nakar Horsemen and the Tyrant. And it's in the past now, but I do think a full rush build could have been better. Because you can see, even with the delayed rush and a lot of assets down, how like certain rush assets are really shutting down the Skaven backline. I think if this had been the strategy from the very start, maybe they could have won. But yeah. Proc holds 2 axes, that's multitasking. It really is. You can see the Blood Chalice got the Grayseer almost back up to full health. Some Sparkle Stalkers and the Chosen of the Gods are trying to snipe him out, but they also have Chariots stuck in a bunch of mass that are going to go down. Ark in the Black did escape from Isabella for a little bit. But goddamn. Sky Striders is trying to get some stuff done. They can kill some Crypt Horrors. The other Mornfang Cav is shutting down these Jezzails. And actually, really good job by these Ogre Bulls just pushing through all of this stuff and getting onto the Jezzails. Ugh. This could have been such a good rush. Could have been. And just seeing the elements. The elements that we wanted. Nekar Horsemen and Skeleton Horsemen fighting with Zombos in the front line. Looks like some Poison Globes are trying to deal with the Kepler Guard. They will also be hitting double Crypt Horrors and some zombies, so it's definitely not full free. In the back line, the blue army is overrunning everything. Chosen of the Gods are getting dragged down. Chariots are almost gone entirely, and our skeleton horsies are not having the best time. Ark in the Black is trying to Spirit Leech down Gorich, it appeared. But I imagine a Blood Chalice is coming for him as soon as it's off cooldown. Nalbar Scrap Launcher is still firing at something. It's doing its very best. Its very best is not that good. I've never been a believer in the Scrap Launcher, but I understand some situations it's good. I just don't think Skaven are really a great faction to fight with the Scrap Launcher, unfortunately, because when it does hit, it's not going to get any value because there's nothing worth hitting, and it misses a lot. It's useful in the Cathay matchup, I can admit that, but I in general am just not a Scrap Launcher believer. I've had a bunch of really good players tell me it's great, and I don't know, for 90% of people, I see this unit just suck and die. Anticity makes it look good. Will Francesco, the few times I've seen him use it, he makes it look good. But not aside from that. Feels a little too RNG for me, you know? Or if like, oh man, it's gonna get like 6 nasty shots in a row. Yeah, but it only happens so many games. There's a lot of games where it just doesn't do anything. It is getting stomped. The Ogre frontline charge is going very well. They have blown through the blue front line. But their back line is falling apart entirely. I mean, when these Blood Knights and Gorich and all this shit come up to the front line, oof. Oof, that's going to be a sandwich I don't want to taste. Probably because it's full of sweaty ogre meat, but also sadness. And we're going to game 2. We're going. It's happening. Hazel Basil's taking a little naparino next to me. That's cute. Little cute pup. Little cute diarrhea pup. I love how the I'm a noob chat in my Discord for noobs to find each other and find games is now being dominated by Trader GG, Central Scrutinizer, and Zep all talking about some stuff, which is, they're talking about fine stuff, but it's just very funny that none of them are noobs at all. Sky Striders are relatively healthy. They're even getting a Troll Guts right now from their Butcher of the Great Maw. I don't think it's gonna be enough to carry this game, though. I mean, just look at the amount of blue. Look at the amount of blue out here. It's just blue. It's all blue. Reds are running. What's wrong with sweaty ogre meat? Just dab a little sweet barbecue sauce and you're good. Pass, bro. Pass. Eldrin, I could do that if I play in a 2v2 in the future. I'm casting today, and this is the finals, so I doubt Tank or Void Lulls or Treacher Arc Sotek are gonna try a meme build in the finals. I doubt it. But I could in a future thing. Off topic, but did you know what elves have been doing lately in land battles, if you know? Poorly. Very poorly. There's multiple reasons for that. Ranged units are currently a little jank. A little bit jank. They're overall worth it and they're fine, but Wood Elves need pretty high responsiveness in their ranged units, and any jank at all hurts them a lot. So they've been having a bit of issues with that. Ultra unit size hasn't done them any favors. It made a lot of their Lord sniping tools that I honestly hated. Like, just because I hate the Wood Elves doesn't mean I'm going to ignore what happened to them. Their Lord sniping tools got a lot less good, which is a pretty large part of why they were in the meta. Their infantry didn't get a lot of buffs. I mean, Dryads did, but the rest of their infantry didn't get buffs. Their elite infantry still suck, meaning they can only take their light infantry, which, while fine and trade okay, again, ultra unit size isn't doing them any good. And Dryads are not having a great time, even with their buffs, because there's so much more magic damage in the game that bypasses their physical resist. So it was like a bunch of small changes around the Wood Elves when they got nothing back. It wasn't like they got specifically nerfed. Nothing changed about them per se. It was the game mechanics changed around them, and they didn't get the buffs that like Lizardmen did, or Greenskins got some buffs in the Squig Herds, but honestly Greenskins are struggling a bit too. You know, like there's a lot of factions that got helping hands into Game 3, and Wood Elves was not one of them, and they're really suffering from that. Yeah, I don't think Wood Elves is particularly strong right now. Oh, and that list I made earlier of factions that need help before High Elves. Yeah, I think Wood Elves need more help than High Elves. That one might be a hot take because it's close-ish. Like, I could... If someone gave me an argument for why High Elves deserve buffs before Wood Elves, like, I could see that being a reasonable argument, but I think personally that Wood Elves are in a worse spot than High Elves. So I think they could use the love. Now, I hate that faction, and I would kind of, like... In my secret heart of hearts, I would be fine if Wood Elves never got buffs. But in my honest opinion for the health of the game, yeah, I think Wood Elves need buffs. I don't know. There's certain people that hate Skaven, so they're not happy that the Skaven got buffs and are viable in Warhammer 3, and I get that. Like, same with Dwarves. Dwarves, Skaven, and Wood Elves are probably... Ooh, and Vampire Counts. Dwarves, Skaven, Wood Elves, Vampire Counts are the 4 factions that are the most hated for all very understandable reasons. Wood Elves and some of the Game 1 factions are struggling because of that. Game changed too much without enough buffs to help. Yeah. Vampire counts are definitely struggling right now. Yeah. Game 1 factions, man. That's a joke. And that doesn't mean that as a joke at your expense, but I do love thinking about the Game 1 table. Like, Bretonia's sitting there with a cup of wine, and they're like, this domination mode just does not appreciate the questing knights. The peasants are needed, and this is not good. And then, like, across from the Empire sitting there, like, yeah, man, we're also having a hard time in domination mode. We just can't hold those points, but land battles are doing all right. We're doing all right, yeah. We're doing okay, but God, it's a hard fight out there. Greenskins are like, whoa, not good. Storm Trolls and Grom got some sideways nerfs, and we got no buffs, and Skirmish Cav that's good. Greenskin struggle. And Vampire counts are like chilling. I mean, Dwarves too. You know, you get the bit at this point. Dwarves too are also struggling. And Vampire counts are at the table. They have like a gold necklace, a gold crown that's like tipped off their head, a couple goblets of blood, and like a bunch of like beautiful women on their arms. And Vampire counts like, oh yeah, we're struggling too over here, guys. The The leadership buffs wasn't enough. Blobbing on the points is just not our thing. Vampire counts, dude. We feel you, other Game 1 factions. It's hard. It's hard out there. If only... Oh, God. If only we could get some buffs. Fucking vampire counts. The only Game 1 faction that's vibing. Yeah, dude. Chaz, yeah. Game 2 factions are honestly doing alright. Dark Elves and High Elves need a little bit of love. Vampire Coast and Tomb Kings got some pretty good buffs that I think need to be toned back a bit. But I think Tomb Kings are better off. I think they're healthier now than they were at the end of Warhammer 2. In that, like, I think they're a little overpowered, but I think they're less overpowered than they were underpowered before. So I think if they dial it back a little bit, Tomb Kings will be in a good spot. And Vampire Coast also got some love because their previous only good build was like double Gunnery White and some air cheese or something. And now they actually have multiple viable builds. Again, they need to be toned back, don't get me wrong. But I think they're in a healthier spot in general than being like either trash or a cheese faction. Where it's like, okay, yeah, you overbuffed them a little bit, but bring them back. And I definitely prefer more flushed out factions like Vampire Coast. Now it's a legitimate question. Are they going to rush me or are they going to sit back and shoot? Whereas previously it was like, am I going to get cheesed or are they going to sit back and shoot? Which is pretty bad, so they're probably going to try to cheese me somehow. I don't know. So I think they're good. Just need a little bit of nerfs. But like Lizardmen got healthy changes. They weathered the storm into Game 3 quite well with their changes. Now they're just like a fine faction. I don't think Lizardmen are OP by any means, but they're strong. They're fine. High Elves could use a little love tap up. Dark Elves could use a little love tap up. Dark Elves got a bunch of Lord buffs, but they're kind of in a Nurgle situation right now, in my opinion. Where, like, yeah, the Dark Elf Lords got buffed, and yeah, the Dark Elf Lords are doing well. That's your mom, Hazel. Dark Elf Lords are doing well, but, like, the Dark Elf roster, besides the Lord, is actually really struggling in a lot of games I've found. They really don't get a ton of value, but your Lord just carries so much of the fight. Same with Nurgle. Nurgle's faction wouldn't be a problem if his Lords weren't so cost-efficient. But they are. Like, Kugath, if he doesn't get shot, incredible duelist, big Mortis engine. Festus, big Mortis engine and leeches. His Exalted Heroes of Nurgle are ridiculously good duelists, but aside from that, like, what are you scared of on Nurgle? Their Chaos Knights are really slow, which is thematic, but they don't do a ton of damage even when they hit. Toads are terrible. Rotflies are terrible. Furies are overcosted for Nurgle. They're about right for Khorne and Tzeentch and Slaanesh, but for Nurgle, his Furies for being 600 kind of suck. He needs them, but they're not worth 600. Dogs are dogs. They're okay, but they're niche. So, like, Nurgle's roster without their OP Lords actually kind of blows. That's how I feel with the Dark Elves, too. It's like, can Malekith, Morathi, and Malice carry you through a game where your Bleak Swords of Dreadspears still fucking lose every melee fight? Hopefully. Your armor-piercing Dark Shards are good. Like, those are good. I won't argue that, but nothing else is. Your elite infantry is a little overcosted for how it trades. And they're slow. I know Loopy talks about this a lot, but Dark Elves are slow. Which is fucked up, because they're an elf. Like, don't Bleak Swords have the exact same movement speed as, like, Empire Spearmen? Which is not okay. Have the gold chain, etc. on the greenskins. Oh, yeah. Thanks, Eldrin. Okay. So we have all of our factions in. I hadn't announced the factions for the best of three because Tretch and Axotech hadn't actually sent us all the factions. So game one you just saw. Voidlals and Tank are up. And now we have Tzeentch and Khorne for them versus Khorne and Norska for Tretch and Sotek. And if we go to game three, we'll have Tomb Kings and Vampire Coast for Tank and Voidlals versus Slaanesh and Nurgle for game three. That sounds rough. I think this is even, because both sides have Khorne, so that's kind of a wash, and the Norska versus Tzeentch is playable by both sides. So I think this is even, and I honestly think game three is going to be heavily Tank and Voidlals favored. Tomb Kings and Vampire Coast versus Slaanesh and Nurgle, I think that's just going to be brutal. Slaanesh doesn't really like fighting undead factions in general. They don't have low leadership for you to, like, route off. and Nurgle doesn't like being shot, and both Vampire Coast and Tomb Kings are going to shoot. So I think if this goes to game 3, I would give it to Tank and Void Lulls on factions, but I mean, maybe Tretch and Sotek can outplay. You can always outplay, but I'm just saying if both factions were played by AI, I think game 2 could go to either player, and then I think Tank and Void are in a good spot for game 3. Dark Elf, Brood, Wreck, Medusa, I've seen do very well. Charge like a chariot at infantry, shoot at spears, and Tomb King's War Sphinx Kitty is also great. Tomb King's War Sphinx Kitty sucks ass, dude. I hate that unit. I went on a rant last tournament we had about Cetra, because Cetra and the Hyro Titan were fighting a Stormvermin Halberd, not the Council Guard. A normal Stormvermin Halberd that was at like 1/8 HP, and a Greyseer at about 1/4 HP. And Cetra and the Hyro Titan were both at about 1/4 HP, and they fucking lost. They couldn't kill anything. They didn't do any damage to the Greyseer. They didn't do any damage to the Stormvermin around them. It was just terrible. It was so terrible. The Tomb Kings player definitely should have won that, but Cetra was just like, by my decree, I suck ass, and died. Cetra's a cool character. He's cool in the lore. He looks cool in the game, but I just hate him. I just hate him in his current iteration. He's so bad. He's so expensive. I have seen way too many Tomb Kings players lose the game by taking Cetra. It's just trash. He's so trash right now, and I wish he wasn't. And that's my opinion. There are some people who swear by Cetra, and that's fine. You know, if it works, like, this is my motto forever. If something works for you, keep doing it. Like, if it works, it works. But for me, and from the games I've seen, I just don't see it. Just don't see it. I hate Cetra. I also recall the counts being good in game 2. They were. They were. Dark Elves can stay where they are. Taurox no like them. Aura piercing hurt Taurox. That is true. Yeah, fuck Dark Elves, yeah. Let's nerf Dark Elves, High Elves, Wood Elves, and Beastmen, yeah. Just nerf them. Nerf them all. Take them down. The only good faction should be Skaven and Nurgle. What up? I can't read the characters in your name, but hello. Hello, hello. Thank you for the monkey emote. VC were in S tier and 2, so they fortunately got the buffs they needed. McRightface. Oh god, yeah. That was such a weird change. That all undead got buffs, and it's like, alright, 2 of the factions were pretty bad in game 2, yeah, but VC and CA is like, don't worry bro, we got this. They're gonna be bad in domination mode. And then they dominated domination mode even in the early access, and then on live, and then on the first patch after live. And it's like, CA, my guys, you're doing a lot of great stuff for the game. You're doing a lot of great stuff for the game. However, how are you fucking up this bad on vampire counts? It is not that hard to nerf them. Like, it's really not. Lower the fucking leadership. Increase crumbling, or lower the healing on their stuff. Like, any of those is fine, and CA's like, we just don't know how to balance them. And I'm like, I gave you 3 things. You just need to go in and change the number. Just change the numbers on crumbling to from 0 to a number, and vampire counts will be balanced. Or change their healing from 1,000,000% per second to 500% per second. You could just change the numbers. Just change the numbers. And they're like, we can't. We can't possibly figure out how vampire counts are so fucking strong. I like how I found them struggling in land battles, but very strong in Dom for similar reasons. Slanesh, at least prior to Dom changes. Beastmen? Oh, yeah. No, Beastmen don't need nerfs. I was memeing. Beastmen are okay in land battles. They're mid-tier. Domination, I've heard they're struggling, but I've seen some people win with them. I think they could use a little bit of love, but probably on, like, capture weight rather than direct buffs. Because in land battles, I honestly think that they're plenty balanced. I think they're balanced. Yeah. They could use more units, but I don't think any of their current units really need tweaking too much. Minotaurs could use a buff. But, like, the faction in general is functioning just fine right now, in my opinion, in land battles. But in Dom, it is struggling, so maybe do Dom-focused buffs? Because I think those are quite popular. A lot of people like Dom-focused buffs where, like, you do capture weight or Vanguard or stuff like that. But land battle-focused buffs where you just throw stats and stuff can really fuck up games. And people don't like that. And also, it comes back to bite domination in the ass, like Cathay's infantry being too strong. Now there's a bunch of complaints about, like, why are Jade Warriors so good from the domination community? And it's like, because they have been forever! Now you just actually have to deal with them. Now that your games are longer and shooting factions matter, yeah, the Jade Warriors are fucking busted. Hope you enjoy it. So I hope they don't do that to Beastmen for Dom mode, where it's like, you know what would make Beastmen better at Dom? Giving all of them plus 20 melee attack and plus 50 armor. Okay. I mean, you just destroyed them for one game mode, but okay. Yee. Which could be a struggle, because if you're moving domination in the ranged capacity... Hold on one sec. Alright, Grace was back, but I wasn't sure if she was leaving again or not, so I just asked her. But when she's home, I usually shut the door because I'm loud. Anyway, where were we? Yeah, vampire counts, I'm worried about them a little bit because the way Dom is trending is a little bit longer game time so that shooting factions have more of a chance, which you could feel about that change however you want to. I think it's positive, but I was never a huge domination enjoyer, so maybe they shouldn't be catering to what I want out of the game, you know? But if counts start struggling in those longer games because they just get shot, like we saw Mofet shoot Alfredino to death in the faction war thing, I'm worried that they'll be like, yeah, counts are good now because we buffed up counts so that they could withstand shooting like this so they could be a viable faction, and land battles are just going to be like this forever because they changed domination mode to such a way that vampire counts like suck there and they want them to be this good in land battles. It's like, oh, for God's sake. Marked Beastmen and a couple monsters, Lords and Hero. Oh, Marked Beastmen would be so cool. Marked Minotaurs would be kind of fun. Like Minotaurs of Tzeentch get shields or something. That would be pretty sick. Because that would encourage like proper cycle charging with Minotaurs. What units have left to be added? Variants mostly. Like Gores with spears or Bestigors with like shields or something. More light cav options. Like they have Centaurs and Centaurs with great weapons and Centaurs with throwing axes, I guess. But maybe like bow Centaurs, or I don't know. So they have some big monsters left they can add in the lore. Honestly, I would like more monstrous infantry of some kind, even if they just have to make them up. Like Minotaurs and Chaos Spawn are fine, but I would like a little more spice, a little more zest. They have Toroks. Yeah, their lord options are fine. Honestly, I do wish they had a little bit wider of a roster because they're functional. I just think it'd be fun if they had more things, but I can't actually think of anything they need. Their faction is currently, it has holes in it, but it has intentional holes in it. Like, yeah, there's no heavy cav, but that's Beastmen. They're, you know, there's not a lot of mount options, but yeah, that's Beastmen. Most of their lords are beasts. They don't really mount things. I guess a chariot, but that's it. You know, it's not like Beastmen have dragons, so I don't know. Beastmen are very thematic. I think they've been handled well throughout Warhammer. They've felt like Beastmen all the time. They don't feel stupid. I think just more variety would be good for them, and that's it. The Praeton, it's a flying monster. Yeah, that could be fun. Like, more monsters is good. More gore variants instead of just Gores with shields and Gore with dual axes, like Gores with halberds or Gores with spears or something. Could be pretty good. Ooh, okay, nice play here. I do have to talk about the game. Skinwolves from Tretch and Axotech are netted in place by the Gaze of Fate, and they're going to get shot with 2 different blue horrors. These are not armored Skinwolves, so they are taking extra damage from the fire due to their regeneration, and they don't have any armor that really needs to be pierced through. For the rest of Norsca, we have some skirmish cav, but it's mostly a rush. We have Flesh Hounds of Khorne, a bunch of Marauders, Icehorn Marauders, Marauders with great weapons, Marauders of Khorne. We do have the Hellforged Host in the back, more Marauders with great weapons. Do we have any Marauder champions, or what's going on here? Just Marauders. It's just Marauder spam from the Reds. Okay. Cool. A couple Chaos Warriors. We have some Skinwolves, as we've seen. We do have the Knights of the Brazen Throne and Herald of Khorne to buff them up. I like the Herald of Khorne. I haven't seen him much recently, but that's because Khorne's usually pretty bad. And then we have Throg and Pit of Shades Caster. That entire Skinwolf unit got nuked in the time it was netted. Rip in peace. On the other side, for Tzeentch, we have a bunch of Skirmish Cav, we have a bunch of Blue Horrors and Pink Horrors mixed throughout, and a couple Furies, and a little bit of Spawn and Marauders. For the Khorne forces, on this side, more Flesh Hounds. Looks like Marauders of Khorne and Chaos Warriors of Khorne and Chosen of Khorne, all with dual weapons. And then we have Scarbrand for a Lord for Void Balls, and we have the Kairos Fate Weaver. Norska finally getting in thick and dirty with a bunch of Flesh Hounds and Skirmish Cav and Skin Wolves, but it looks like they're going to run away as soon as the Furies are involved. Some of their Skirmish Cav got caught up a little bit, and now they're trying to back out of there. I also think the Knights of the Brazen Throne want to get involved somewhere at some point in time. Norska sitting back for an alarmingly large amount of time, as if they're going to let the skirmish happen versus Tzeentch, which is just not a good place for you guys to be. And they are now getting a little more involved, and now their infantry are moving up. Because they definitely want the infantry fight. Khorne is some elite infantry, but you can see how outnumbered they are in the infantry game. Because Pink and Blue Horrors don't want to go into melee until they use all their ammunition, so there's only like 5 actual melee units on the blue side. Big mobile engagement is occurring. Both sides taking a ton of damage, but blue side is about to lose 2 Flesh Hounds, and their Furies are also on the list for things to be destroyed. We do have some Throwing Axe Cav trying to get some shots out, but they are having a tough time doing it, and the Herald of Khorne is here to give buffs to all of his boys. The boys in blue, but by that I mean the boys in red. Skirmish Cav is stuck in melee with Chaos Furies. I think they'll eventually win it if they're left to their own devices, but they should probably peace out of here. We have Flesh Hounds also diving into pink, blue horrors, and also a bunch of Chaos Warriors and stuff, so they're not having a good time. This flank in general is not having a good time because the infantry isn't engaged yet. On the far side, it does look like red is prevailing in the mobile game, but some blue units have entirely disappeared, so maybe that is a biased thingy here. Some infantry are getting involved. Skirmish Cav is getting involved. Where are the Knights of the Brazen Throne? Ah, here they are. They're trying to go through the middle. And they're also trying to help with these Marauders of Khorne, who somehow have slipped a couple models back into the pink and blue horrors. The Knights of the Brazen Throne are trying to charge straight through Chaos Warriors of Khorne. And now they're also kind of mucking up the backline. Very nice play by Axe Sotek. Haven't heard of this player, but he's going pretty good with cavalry. That's nice. Skirmish Cav still fighting on the other side, and now the infantry have gotten involved. Iceheart Marauders will trade okay over here, but we do have a bunch of Chaos Warriors of Khorne with dual weapons, so Marauders are going to have a bit of a tough go. Damage value, Void Laws has about as much as both of his opponents combined, so tank is really the difference here, and it's about 1600. Throg is getting sniped out by Pink Horrors, by Blue Fire of Tzeentch getting spammed over and over again, and even a Bolt of Change. So Tretch does need to move his Lord around, dodge as much as he possibly can, and avoid getting a Lord sniped. And yeah, I think the frontline fight might eventually go to red just because they have the sheer weight of numbers, but currently it's going to blue due to elite quality. And red really needs to win the cavalry and side engagements. Throg takes another nasty blue horror. Blue Fire of Tzeentch. We have a Pit of Shades that's cast on something. Looks like some Chaos Warriors, but it was cast in a way that he didn't hurt their own units, which also means it's not going to get as much done. Pit of Shades goes away. Infantry fight is slowly going to the blue team on this side. More Skirmish Cav tries to pile in, and the Knights of the Brazen Throne actually came all the way over here. Really? Okay. Each their own, I suppose. Herald of Khorne plus some Skin Wolves or the Beasts of Tashnar are all trying to fight Skarbrand, who has currently rampaged them. And he might snipe out the Herald of Khorne, but he also doesn't want to sit here for too long. This is a lot of anti-large fighting him, so if he can kill the Herald and walk off, he'll be fine. Throg is routing. Pretty bad for the red side. The red infantry have prevailed on the far flank. On the near flank, they're still struggling. And the center is who knows? Anybody's guess at how the center's going right now. Some Skirmish Cav are trying to throw at Skarbrand. They're doing okay about it, but he can get regrowths at any time from Kairos Fateweaver, so I don't think he's actually in that much trouble. It really is about, as soon as the rampage ends, this Herald of Khorne needs to leave. We need more Gores. Torox would love that, but Marked Beastman would fix that, yeah. Marked Beastman would definitely fix it. We do have some Jav throwers all aiming over at Skarbrand. It looks like we have a pretty big snipe attempt onto him, but he is currently sniping out the Herald of Khorne and doing a much better job of it. Herald of Khorne is going to start disintegrating, and unlike the undead, disintegrating actually matters for demon units. Knights of the Brazen Throne are having a hard time finding somewhere to really sit. They only have 600 value at this point, and 4 minutes into the game they need to get a lot more than that done. The Hellforged Host is here. They're killing all these Chaos Marauders of Khorne, but it is going to be too late for the Herald, and he is down. Skarbrand's taking a bunch of damage, though, so somebody has to really punish him before Kairos comes back and heals him up. That could be a way back into this game, but blue is taking a pretty commanding lead on the balance of power. As Throg is running, the Herald of Khorne is dead, so both lords are probably out of this game soon. I don't imagine Voidlaw is going to let Throg come back. Either the Skirmish Cav is going to axe him to death, or another blue fire will seal his fate. Yeah, it's looking rough. Red has, in the end, only won in the middle, and just barely, and they are currently getting shot on multiple sides. The Knights of Brazen Throne are trying to get stuff done, but this unit in general, for being 2,200 gold, just really doesn't have the stopping power you think it would. Because let's see how much it does to these horrors. Because it needs to, like, melt these horrors for being a 2,200 gold unit. And it actually does okay. That was a good charge. And then it makes the Bolt of Change hit them. Good for you, Knights of the Brazen Throne. You're doing your best. See another Pit of Shade somewhere, but did it get canceled, or what happened? I saw the animation. Where did it go? I don't know. I just don't know. Throg's trying to rally in the distance. He's not going to. Red is coming back on the balance of power after obliterating that pink horror. Knights of Brazen Throne heard me talking shit, and they're not having any of it. But they're, without a perfect charge, they kind of limp dick into those pink horrors of Tzeentch. More javelins are thrown in. Skirmish Cav are also throwing at Skarbrand, who's just trying to stay alive. It looks like Kairos is coming over to give him a handy little regrowth. I think it'll be Overcast. Let's see. Or has he used all of his winds of magic, giving it to Throg? I don't know. Throg's about off the map. Damage value balance power has evened up a lot for the red side. And where have they gotten that? I guess Blue doesn't have a lot left on the field. Everything they have is extremely injured besides Kairos, and Skarbrand's going to get healed soon. Throg is dead, though, and that is a crushing blow for Norska's leadership. If he could have somehow got off the map without dying, that would have been nice for them. And my voice cracked. Guess I'm back in middle school, ladies and gentlemen. Haha, very funny joke. Okay. Maybe Blue doesn't have the... Maybe they don't have the staying power? Okay. Yeah, 3, I'll talk to them. Alrighty. I marked that as on red, so I remember to do it after the stream. So red has a bunch of infantry left. I mean, most are injured in some fashion or routing, but blue doesn't really have them. There's one spawn of Tzeentch over here. We have another Pit of Shades cast from the Fimir, and he is taking out 2 Chaos Warriors of Khorne with only a Marauder of his own. Skarbrand charges in, gets a Rampage off. He has been healed by Kairos off screen, we can see that, but he's currently just walking the Fimir Balefiend of Shadows around, taking him out for his daily exercise, being a good pet owner that he is, and he's getting javelined in the back of the head. Knights of the Brazen Throne are coming over, maybe have words to say about this. This is a full health Cav unit, but it's Marauder Horseman with no ammunition, so it's not like it's a Chaos Knight or anything. God, red is just in such disarray as far as elite units go. This could be huge. Skarbrand himself is rampaging, meaning he can't dodge the Knights of the Brazen Throne, who are going to run straight into him. And yeah, they're rampaging, but there's only one target in front of them. They want to take him out, but good God, that did a lot of damage. Skarbrand just fucks up the Knights of the Brazen Throne on the charge. He's now starting to take a bit of damage, but they're not actually that good at surrounding a single entity and really dueling them down. Another regrowth is cast, and that'll probably be GG. As Skarbrand is just going to do unholy damage to Knights of the Brazen Throne while getting healed up. I mean, even if he dies here, Kairos can clean up the rest. There's nothing for the red team on the map at all. And Skarbrand's not even going to die. He ends up beating the Knights of the Brazen Throne and just runs away. Fimir Balefiend is dead, and that is going to be a 2-0 for Void and Tank. Well played by Tretch and Axe Sotek, though. I think in Game 1 their build was just a little off the mark, but their Game 2 build was fine. They played it quite close. Yeah. Isn't bad to let Skarbrand fall out low on HP. The wound damage reduction will go away when healed. Yeah, it is bad to let him go that low, but I think Kairos didn't have enough winds of magic to heal him up. He was busy with Throg elsewhere. Knights of the Brazen Throne fighting some Marauder Horsemen to the last, but Skarbrand's going to rear charge them and do a ton of damage, and they're going to die. Kairos is busy dealing with Fimir Balefiend. Aside from that, you got nothing. These are all Marauders of Khorne, so they're that low, meaning they'll just die when they get close. Okay, there's one Chaos Warrior. 2 Chaos Warriors across the whole thing, but there's army losses. GG. Skarbrand hates lose. Skarbrand did not lose. So Skarbrand can hate losing all he wants because he didn't do it. GG, well played. Skarbrand himself, 3,200 value. His Chaos Warriors and Chosen struggled a bit. And his Marauder Axeman did fine. So pretty much Skarbrand is the only one that did anything off the Khorne army. Kairos did fine, sniping stuff, healing stuff. Pink Horrors and Spawn did okay. Marauder Horsemen of Tzeentch did excellently. Furies of Tzeentch did just fine. Blue Horrors all paid for themselves, and Marauders of Tzeentch did okay. On the other side for Tretch, Throg had 0 value. He just got sniped, which is going to happen. Fimir Balefiend did fine. Skinwolves, one got netted and killed. The other one didn't, and I actually can't tell which is which is the weird thing. Beast of Tashnar did fine. Marauder Horsemen didn't do as well as the Tzeentch ones, unfortunately. And the Marauders traded well, considering their cheap costs, and the Javelins did great. For Arc Sotek, his Herald buffed up some stuff. Knights of the Brazen Throne almost paid for themselves. Hellforged hosted. They're pretty great. Chaos Warriors actually paid for themselves right on the nose, pretty much. And Marauders of Khorne struggled and died for the most part. Fleshhounds also struggled. Well played to Axe, Sotek, and Tretch. Well played. Void and Tank were my favorites to win the whole tournament, so you played well to even make game 2 close. And that will be that. Who's better, Torox or Skarbrand? Torox for his cost, Skarbrand for stats, if that makes sense. Like, if price is no object, yeah, Skarbrand's better, but Skarbrand's way more expensive than Torox is. Skarbrand hates losing, so he rips and tears. Hell yeah, he does. That'll be it for today's tournament. Sorry about some of the laggy games. Sorry about some of the awkwardness when we couldn't find a lobby, but yeah, we're there. We made it to the end. We got some good games out. We got some bangers. Congratulations to Tank and Void for winning. And I don't have any stream planned tomorrow or Tuesday. Yeah, I'm taking Hazel, my dog, up to the cities on Tuesday to see a specialist, and I have to give blood tomorrow for medical reasons, and I hate giving blood, so I'm not going to stream that day because I'm just going to want to chill. After I give blood, I just want to be home and deal with my anxiety. God, I hate giving blood. You have no fucking idea. Like, I know it's good for people. You know, I know what it does, and I know it's important, but, like, it's just, I, like, pass out a lot. I just don't like it. I feel like I'm going to throw up. It's just, Are you planning on doing any more turns this week? Killer Lion? Yes, I am, because Total Tavern Turn site now allows land battles. He did put an option on there for me to check a box and note something as land battles, so his leaderboard won't track it. So we'll be hosting probably a new player tourney on there this week for people that don't like challenge to try out land battles. Aside from that, we also have Vermin League tournaments this week. I'm currently trying to figure out the best way to do those. I'll coordinate with Cuden to make sure I don't overlap any of his tournaments. That's what I got for all of you. So this week there's going to be a new player tourney and some Vermin Leagues. That, and I might continue my campaign stream. We'll see how that goes. I really want to also grind some Vermin League. I haven't gotten to play as much as I wish I could. I've been busy hosting tournaments, but I really like playing the game, and I haven't gotten to. So hopefully I'll just be able to grind out some battles. Amazing tourney, TY for the stream. Are you planning on doing more things? Yes, thanks for streaming. Good luck with the blood harvest. Oh, I hate it, but it needs to be done. Cuden says GG's, thanks for the stream. No, thank you, Cuden, for the tournament. He hosted it. The link is in the Discord, and not Discord. The link is in the description. You can join his 2v2 server from there, where you can find all sorts of 2v2 tournaments. He usually does them once a week. I host them cast them when I can, but he hosts one once a week with or without me. So if you want to know about more 2v2 stuff, definitely join that Discord. He might have other people casting some of them, or they might go uncasted, and they're just fun. So hopefully you have a good time with that. And I am leaving now. Goodbye forever. Whoop.